You'd think I could bother her more. It is 5:46. I'm Danny Bonaduce. This is KZOK. Good morning.
You know,
it's not. It's not terrible. I mean, because you're extraordinarily white, and now as a white thing, the only guy that I know that scats effectively is a guy named Scatman Crothers. And he's dead now, I would think. Bald black dude scats because that's his name, and he has to.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Do anybody remember a cartoon called Hong Kong Phooey?
No.
It was the janitor at a police station, had a secret identity of this kung fu match. Of course, he was a dog.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
You know what? There's another one. I mentioned this off the air, I think, yesterday, and there's no reason to mention anything off the air ever, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
My wife has got a picture, what's called a cell, of a cartoon, of a Danny Bonaduce cartoon, and I said to her, "Oh no, I gotta take this in and show the guys at work." And she said, "They won't care." And I said, "Oh yeah, you're totally right."
I mean, she's right. But...
No, she's totally right. But I forget what the career has looked like. Like, if I said, "Well, of course, I was in a cartoon," would you have an idea which one it was?
No, I don't know.
There was a minorly successful cartoon called The Partridge Family in Space, or The Partridge Family 2200, or something like that.
Okay.
So it got enough play that if you're a cartoon nerd, you'd go, "Oh, the Partridge Family had their own cartoon." Yes, they did. But that wasn't the one I had yesterday. The one I had yesterday was a thing called Goober and the Ghost Chasers. And if you look like it, somebody might as well have just said Zoinks. It was a dog crime fighter, and there was a girl that looked a lot like Velma and stuff like that. But then
Scooby don't.
It totally Scooby don't. And I think the dog went invisible when he got nervous. But I thought, the guys at work, that's like a weird third career that I had. I had a good run at cartoons.
Yeah.
When I was,
sounds like
except. Shut up, Mr. David Cassidy and Miss Shirley Jones, Academy Award winner. They wouldn't do it. So that's how I remember it. And I usually remember it right. They were dicks sometimes. But
snooty.
Yeah, well, also, I think it paid $700 an episode, and an episode took like an hour.
Oh, my gosh.
Why would you
I'll
not?
do it.
Yeah, and I'm 13 or something. Why would I not do? I don't get to see the money really, but I know it's going somewhere for me. So anyway, I thought, I'm going to go show these guys how bitching I am. And then I thought, they know.
We do. We really do.
They're so bitching. Now, back to Sarah scatting. One more try. Okay, no, you went insane. Last time was good. And then you went one of the Smurfs, or not one of the Smurfs. Was it a Smurf?
Oh, no, it's Chewbacca. That for sure is Chewbacca.
That wasn't. I guess she lost the ability.
I don't think I've ever been able to Chewbacca. I thought I was doing scat okay.
Well, you're wrong. Totally wrong.
Am I channeling David Lee Roth?
Actually, he's not the worst.
No, Sarah's the worst.
Sarah's absolutely the worst. David's not great, but he's certainly not.
But this all comes from us deciding you guys were getting cool hats and
pork pie hats.
And we need to play instruments.
And the thing with the pork pie hats is they're like ultra cool. I don't know that you can just wear one and not be fairly either actually cool or confident that you are cool. It's a pork pie hat. Yeah.
So what do you mean? You have to like be doing an activity or dressed a certain way?
You're doing an activity when you're wearing the pork pie. In my opinion, you're wearing a pork pie. It's a verb.
I feel like you're going to look great and I'm going to look really, really stupid.
Well, you're really used to wearing hats.
Yeah.
So anyway, and the only suggestion I give who wears a pork pie hat and what they do was Bruce Willis at the beginning of his career. He had a detective show called Moonlighting, maybe. And he also had a band, which he still has to this very day. And he would play the harmonica, and then he'd go, zibbity-boo-doo, ba-da-doo, ba-da-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, or something like that.
Good.
That was a good one.
Thank you. I'm feeling good about myself. So it's
Bruce
the cartoons
is gonna ask you to
and that.
join the band.
Yeah.
Wait, so when are you getting the hats? I got to see this.
Well, this is kind of easy, I think. I have a hat with me, and Paul has a hat with me. Him.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, we all have a hat with you.
Right.
We're all in the same room.
I will try on Paul's hat, see where he likes it in the world of snugness.
Oh, okay.
And if it fits me just perfect, boom, I go there and I do it. Now he can try on my hat that I'm wearing, a kind of a cowboy hat or a fedora today.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like a perfect fit. So if this fits you, then I don't have to bother you with your
I bet it doesn't. I have a huge dome.
Do you have a giant dome?
Yeah, pretty big.
I think I have a normal.
So you're going to go buy them for the two of you.
Well, if you really want to scat, not be a big jerk and hurt everybody's feelings.
What?
That was the best slow burn what I've heard. What?
I can't see Sarah in a hat of any kind.
Yeah.
And I have seen you in a hat of some kind. A baseball cap,
A baseball
at least,
cap,
yeah.
probably. I'm going to rock a pork pie.
I've seen her have a hat on, and during the Filthy Forecast, she gives... that's not quite
I'm
the way
going to
that-
look really good in a pork pie hat, and I'm going to play the harmonica.
I wish it was time to take a break, because I just point at Paul and go, okay, put a stop to this before it hurts anybody.
Nope,
but I've
there's
never
4
seen
more minutes of scatting.
I don't know that I've ever seen a girl in a pork pie hat.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not sure you have either.
But it's not like, be a trendsetter.
I'm going to be a
Yeah,
trendsetter. I'm going to wear a pork pie. I'm going to rock the pork pie hat.
Now,
everyone's going to wear one.
where to get the pork pie hat? There's obviously the internet.
Right.
Because I've gotten a lot of stuff off the internet. I chickened out. I didn't really have the guts to wear it in. I realized this may not be the greatest radio you've ever heard, but what have you come to expect from us? But I have a embroidered knee-length jacket and a cowboy hat with me, and that was going to be my new look today.
Oh.
And in the garage, I was running. There's a couple things. One, I was running late. I don't have time to dress in all that outfit. And two, totally chickened out because it's weird, man, to dress up like a cowboy.
Like you have a
4:30.
duster, like Old West, like.
Not today, but yes, I do.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah,
What
no,
do you-
dusters are cool.
What do you have today? I can see something on the back of your chair.
Well, then you have to describe it well. That this is worse radio than usual.
Okay.
Like somebody's got to go, oh, here's what's happening.
So Danny's now standing up out of his chair.
Oh, that
He's-
might be worse. Danny's moving. He's lifting one arm out.
He is now grabbing his jacket.
I
He's
wish
got
the
one
color
arm
were
in.
more remarkable.
He's got 2 arms in. Oh, that's a great
It's
jacket,
a great looking jacket, man.
It
So
looks
there's
like a
the-
country
there's the-
western shirt, but it's a blazer.
Right. I thought the Western shirt would be way too much because I have one of those too.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I could totally see you on stage right now playing guitar if you knew how to play guitar.
Okay, now you bring up a really good point. I'm not particularly good, right, at the
Yeah.
guitar playing and country singing.
You're getting
Yeah.
there.
So can I make up for my lack of ability with the really cool clothes?
Oh,
Or are people gonna
jacket
go-
makes it way better.
Or are they going to say, look at his clothes, you'd think he'd be good.
Oh, good call.
See, it's a good call.
I didn't think about
Look how that outfit costs more than his guitar. You'd think he'd play better.
Oh. Yeah, probably.
So this you'll never see this outfit again. But you will see my pork pie.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So I was going to tell you, there is a hat store near Pike Place Market. There's 2 of them.
Oh, yeah.
One of them looks super fancy, and the other one looks like it might be more affordable.
I'll shop for Paul's there.
Yeah, one of them is on First, and the other one is on maybe Pine, and it is a dedicated hat store. But one of them looks like the hats all probably cost $600.
Oh, I've been in that one like near Pike Place Market, and they do not like me. They don't like people, I think, going in there and just trying on hats that they never intend to buy. But if
No,
you
I
just
can
walk
see how that
around
would
and like
work.
try on hats, but isn't that the whole point of having a hat store?
I
Is that
thought
I'm going to
so.
try on like 50 different hats and probably
When I
not
went to
buy
K
any.
and G Superstores, it was made evident to me that I could throw the stuff on the ground and roll in it. That'd be fine. And okay, well, that's exactly what I will do. So remember when I say this, beat it up.
Kent police are investigating a deadly shooting that happened late last night in a parking lot of a group of businesses along State Route 516. About 10:45, police responded to 2 people that were reportedly in a vehicle in a parking lot, and inside, an adult woman and adult male both had been shot. The woman, who they say is from Federal Way, was declared dead at the scene. The Kent resident, the man, was taken to Harborview in grave condition. Kent police say they are searching for a suspect. Do not believe this was a random shooting.
Now I don't know. I'm not even speculating that it's gang violence. I don't know who they are, where that part of the town is, anything like that. I'm just, there's people are shot. They didn't use the word execution style, but you're sitting in your car with your seatbelt on. Somebody shoots and kills one of you. I can speculate if I want. Having said that, in street gangs, is there the don't shoot women rule like there is in the mafia and stuff?
I don't really know that is anything even in the mafia anymore. I think
No, they don't always obey. They have clear rules about wives and kids.
I don't
Right,
know
but
that
there's
the
women
certainly
leaders
street
now.
gangs. Yeah, I don't know that the street gangs are as cordial as they used to be.
Right. That's my question. So you don't think?
No, I think it's anything goes. Unfortunately.
Well, plus there's a lot of women leaders.
Well, it's also a little
A lot of women
sexist.
gang members
Yeah.
now.
You know, if she's a gang leader and
You want
don't,
equality.
you don't do anything because she's a goyle, you're a bit of a sexist punk.
Absolutely.
That's what I say.
The Seattle City Council has voted unanimously to pass legislation proposed by Mayor Jenny Durkin to require gun owners to lock up their firearms. Starting 180 days after Durkin signs the legislation, which just passed, it will be a civil infraction to store a gun without the firearm being in a secured, locked container. Also, with this legislation, it'll be a civil infraction when an owner knows or should know that a minor or an at-risk person or an unauthorized user is likely to access a gun and can access that weapon.
You know, not only do I think Jenny wants to be your mom, and now you're going to get in trouble. You don't lock those up, and you're going to get double whammy trouble if there's a kid in your house. But I don't know that those are not the times that we live in because people do get guns still.
Sure.
The videotape of the school shooter, I think, in Florida, but not positive because there's so many. There's videotape of him outside pretending he's killing people in his underwear. I don't care how he dresses, really. It's not that part of the story.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think it's kind of weird that people just don't lock up their guns immediately.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid that Amy would shoot me. You hear those stories all the time.
Sure, yeah.
Honey, it's me. I'm coming in the house. Don't shoot me. I love you. Then she shoots me dead and then tells the police, I don't know, man. I came in the house screaming about love or something.
We've heard so many stories recently of shooters getting weapons when they weren't supposed to have them because they didn't pass either the background check
Right.
or if somebody is mentally disturbed, they shouldn't have access to weapons.
Or
but
they
they
weren't
got
old
them.
enough.
Or they weren't old enough,
Yeah.
yeah. The two Western Washington counties that announced the big fires yesterday. Remember, we had the big road closure over in Vantage. They say that is now 50% contained, and they're hoping to have that in better condition today. However, we do have some burn bans that because things have been so dry. And Pierce County announced the burn ban will take effect at noon on Thursday. And in Island County, a burn ban will take effect at noon on Friday.
I can't believe we're still allowed to burn stuff. I mean, the whole mountainside's 280,000 acres is a real fire.
Yeah.
And you went camping and didn't put it out all the way? You flicked a cigarette butt? I can't believe we're allowed to do that kind of stuff.
Well, you
Take
can.
a portable camping heater.
You can have a campfire in many places. You can have a fire in a fire pit. If it's an approved campground or on private property, you can have a fire, but you can't do any land clearing or burning of yard debris. So if Paul goes and mows his farm,
Yeah, what am I going to do with my yard debris?
Yeah. When was
can't
the last
burn
time
it.
you mowed your farm?
We mow our farm all the time.
You do?
Yeah, you gotta mow the farm, yeah. Mow the cows, you know.
I was
that
driving.
means.
What day was this? It was a couple of days ago. I was driving down Western, and there's this big community garden kind of built into a hillside, closer to Pike Place Market than,
I've seen
say,
that.
here.
Yep.
And there was a big truck, and all the goats were all taken off the truck and put into the garden so they could eat it.
That's neat. I've never
was
seen
awesome.
that in real life in the sense of in a city. I've seen goats before.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be cool. You know what I would do? I would chain all their little legs together.
Make them a chain gang.
Yeah, make them a chain gang.
Put them in orange
Teach 'em
jumpsuits.
how to sing gospel.
The sound
Yeah,
of the
there
goats.
you go. Working on the chain gang.
It was the first time I'd seen it, so yeah, I thought it was super cute.
Yeah, you girls always say that.
What does that even mean?
What do you care what it means? What are you, a detective? Do you have questions?
I will be when I have my pork pie hat.
A cool detective.
Yeah.
We've talked a little bit, I think because one of our listeners owns one of these, but we've seen a lot of those escape rooms pop up in cities
yeah.
across the country. There's one called Northwest Escape Experience. It's located in a Vancouver strip mall. And the owners had to call police, or got a call from police rather, because somebody broke in to rob the business and couldn't get out. Because that's what happens when you go.
Because he's got to figure out a riddle and like work together as
Is
a
that
team.
what we're
Yes.
talking
So
about
he
here? I
can
didn't
get
realize
out?
quite what we were talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah, there's
I
like-
thought it was one of those rooms where you went in and bash up office equipment.
No.
Oh no, it's like work together to solve the puzzle so you can get out.
I never, nobody wants me on their team. Because first of all, I start killing people that I think might know the answer.
You're
would
in there
try
for
to
5
smash.
minutes and
Yeah.
you turn to cannibalism.
Totally. I'm picking out who I'm going to eat.
He did wind up doing a bunch of damage to this Northwest Escape experience. It is meant to promote team building and working together. It's something that a lot of businesses do. Friends do it as well, but it's something that's supposed to help with team building. But yeah, he had to call the cops because he could not figure out how to get out.
I also thought we may be talking about panic rooms. Remember that terrible movie with Jodie Foster? Mm-hmm. But they're real things. They were red hot in Los Angeles for about a decade, getting the customized one built into your house. Food, water, camera, security, all that kind of stuff. I always wanted one of that, and then I moved to Seattle and went, I'll bet you nobody's going to kill me. I'm in Queen Anne. I don't need my panic room. My panic room is called Queen Anne. I'm fine.
I looked at an apartment years ago in White Center, and they had panic buttons in the apartment.
Oh, wow.
And kind of like in a closet, but it wasn't like a fortified room, but there was like a hall closet that had a panic button. And I was just so freaked out by, like, why do they have these? Like, why would I need this? I don't want to live in this apartment because they clearly have a reason that I need a panic button.
They were up to no good. I wouldn't have rented that apartment either.
I just
Really?
assumed
Yes.
trouble happens at this apartment complex.
I'd assume that, are they in every apartment?
Yeah, it wasn't like a special offer just for me.
Well, no, I just thought maybe somebody, because I tried to give my mom and she wouldn't accept it. The thing you can wear it around your neck and push a button and the cops immediately show up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that's great. And it was like $199. Yeah, no matter what she does, she can notify the police or somebody. But I think she thought it made her look old. Or it made her butt look big. I don't know what she thought. She's weird.
There is an execution that's supposed to be taking place later today in Nevada that has a lot of people talking. They are concerned about a botched execution because this will be the first U.S. case of capital punishment using fentanyl.
Really?
Yeah, so the Department of
A lot of
Corrections
junkies are volunteering.
in Nevada has quietly purchased small doses of fentanyl over the past several months and plan to use that with a paralytic drug called cystocarium to then use it as an execution drug.
I always thought that was that rap girl, Cystocarium. Sup, sister?
Now, we know fentanyl has been in the news a lot lately because of accidental overdoses, harming police officers, making arrests, and now they're concerned that we don't really know that much about fentanyl and the dosage, that this has the potential to become a botched execution.
Well, all executions have the possibility of becoming a botched execution. I think that what's important is know that I'm willing to take that chance. That convict's life. Totally. He did it, right? We all know he did it.
Yeah, I don't know that he did it.
Oh, no, he so did it.
He's a double murderer. He says he has accepted his fate. He wants to die.
Yeah.
The concern is,
we know he did.
Yeah.
when you remember about a year or two ago, there was a drug that wasn't working. It's then cruel and unusual punishment. And if the execution doesn't work, you're going to put that person through it all over again.
I'm not sure what the rules are because there are some rules on that because there have been botched executions where the person didn't die. And there was an old wives' tale that you get to go free or they won't kill you.
I don't think that's true.
It was starting with, I think, the early 1900s with Sacco and Vanzetti, maybe. And they hung this guy and the rope broke. And the story is, of course, it was too weird. You get to go. Apparently totally not true.
I'd be concerned to be like one of the people administering the drugs.
Oh, good point.
Because we've had so many times where police officers have just been near fentanyl and had bad reactions.
That's a very good point.
So it's this double murderer that has accepted his fate.
Right.
He's going to die. He thinks he deserves to die. He's going to die by firing squad. Here's the trick with firing squads. It's 7 rifles in a firing squad. One of them holds a blank cartridge, not a real bullet. And they never tell the officers who that is. So if later on in life you flip out, I killed an unarmed man, you can think to yourself, well, maybe I definitely had the blank.
Yeah.
Say, it's your turn, you're that guard. And they go, oh, no, you're the guy with the bullet. You have to shoot him, Paul. Could you do it?
I mean, I wouldn't take that job, but I guess if I had that job, I don't think I would. I wouldn't want that job.
I didn't think you'd want the job of executioner. How do you get, well, as radio producer, executioner, not positive.
Would you?
I mean, I'd shoot him right away.
Okay. Well, all right.
And then at least we know he definitely did it. I'd probably shoot if I had a hunch.
If I was like, if you had a hunch,
what is wrong with you?
Sounds like you want that job.
Oh no, I think it's a terrible job. But I don't need a fake bullet to make me sleep well at night. He's a convicted murderer, and he had accepted his fate, and I shot him.
It is a pretty crazy job to think about. Like growing up, all the different jobs you want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go work in a prison and be the person that administers the drug that kills people on death row.
Right.
Yeah, uniformly, and I haven't known that many, but the few I've met, prison guards are terrible people.
Oh.
They're really not kidding around. Rough crew. They're they handle killers all day long that want to get out and kill them. So when you step up to somebody at a bar and say something stupid, and you're 5'6" and you have red hair, they don't take you all that seriously.
I've had a bunch of prison guards in my family, so I can tell you, you're right. Yeah. They're pretty terrible people. That's pretty much all my family does is either go to prison or guard the people
each side of the line, man.
You guys remember the FBI agent who was dancing in a club, did a backflip?
Yeah, lost his gun.
Gun fell out and discharged, hitting someone.
That's right. He shot somebody.
He shot somebody in a nightclub while doing a backflip.
Yeah.
Well, he is considering a plea deal, and in the meantime, he is allowed to have his work weapon back. Now,
really?
Yes.
And he's off the job, right?
No.
He's working still?
He had an accident.
Yeah, then shot somebody.
He didn't shoot somebody. Somebody got shot, Paul.
Yeah, he lost control of his
because he was doing a backflip
and shot.
No, it's the irresponsible, drunk, stupid guy. Punish him, fire him, but until you make your decision, he can have his gun back.
He has not been fired yet, and the FBI strongly encourages its agents to carry their service weapon even when off duty, even when not working.
Except they don't encourage people to like get drunk and dance and do a backflip and shoot people. But I just realized the gun lobby was wrong the whole time. They say guns don't kill people, people kill people. In this case, the gun actually shot somebody without him doing anything.
That's true.
Except a backflip.
Huge, not that good backflip.
So he was in court yesterday. They have given him a plea deal that he is considering. We do not know the terms, and he is.
I'll tell you the terms. You don't get you don't go to jail. That's the first term for sure.
Yeah.
And they're not going to send this guy to jail.
It depends on what he is pleading guilty to, because that could mean he could no longer be an FBI agent.
That's a distinct possibility. I'm just telling you, I don't believe that anybody's going to incarcerate this guy.
No, I don't think so
either. But I'm surprised that he's working as an FBI agent right now, that he's not on paid administrative leave while they, go through the course of...
He is on paid administrative leave.
Okay, so
they
he's
are
not working.
still encouraging him to carry his weapon, which you can't do unless the court allows you to.
They took the gun. It's evidence he had shot somebody.
Yes. He is now allowed to carry his gun, and the FBI, once he pleads out or doesn't, then the FBI will decide his fate.
I know what he should totally do, and then turn this whole thing around. He should become an instructor at Arthur Murray Dance Studio. And that's my story. They shot a guy with his dance moves. I would have signed up with him.
Let's talk about nuts.
All right.
Yeah.
Peanuts. Southwest Airlines, after 50 years, will stop serving peanuts.
Why? Has he had enough to drink?
Is it what?
I just heard peanuts in my ear, and I went, I should probably say some stupid joke here.
Now we know that several other airlines have already removed peanuts from their flights as a courtesy to those with peanut allergies.
Oh, is that I thought it was just an expense thing. Like, we're not going to give away free peanuts anymore. We can't shell out the 37 cents.
Shell out.
You're welcome.
I say, don't let the bastard with the allergy on the plane. Why would you hassle 132 people for one guy that can't eat nuts?
Yeah, why let anybody with peanut allergies fly ever?
No, but all right. I'm with you. Because mostly I don't believe in them.
Or just go out in public, really. Well, don't let them in our restaurants, our buses.
No, they can go anywhere they want as long as they know we serve peanuts. And they can shut up. And if they start to choke, I'm going to go, you're making this up.
Well, Delta swapped out peanuts for almonds. Some people maybe even didn't notice.
Nobody's allergic to almonds?
No, the peanut allergies are specific to peanuts.
I'm allergic to Greg Almond.
Well, like how Danny's wife is allergic to shellfish.
Yeah. Which I don't believe, by the way.
Except you've seen her
her head blow up like a balloon, kind of hysterical.
How can you not believe it?
No, because she's convinced herself she's allergic. She's not. Nobody is. God did not make things that aren't good for you.
Yes, he did.
Except, like you think guns.
Like heroin.
Yeah, God didn't make those things.
Really?
No, people, man, those are toys of
Power
man.
grows in the
poppies,
plant
yeah.
made by God.
Oh, and
your
you just go and grab a
religion.
poppy and just ram it into your arm. You ever seen a poppy?
How about the coca leaves?
Danny, you were so unreasonable right now that you made Sarah believe in God and defend God. Believe in and defend God.
Well, I didn't even know what's happening, but I rest.
There's a crazy story in the news about a man who goes up to a woman in a public park and has a lot of not so nice things to say to her. He is 62 years old, and he goes up to her and said, this is Illinois, okay? Why are you wearing that shirt? It's a shirt of the Puerto Rican flag.
Yeah.
And he says, are you a citizen? You should not be wearing that in the United States of America. Are you a citizen?
Of what?
This guy's not bright, is he?
She says, yes, I am. And he continues to accost her. The police get involved. He is telling her wearing a shirt with pride for Puerto Rico in America is un-American.
Yeah, well, he's wrong and stupid.
He clearly needs a geography and a history lesson.
You know, nowadays, that guy's a big stupid ass, but they should make that more clear.
That
it's
Puerto
only
Rico's
been
part of the United
100
States.
years, Danny.
No, to this day. Okay, are they all citizens?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Are we citizens of Puerto Rico?
No.
All right, see how slow you didn't answer this, sir, because you don't know.
Are we citizens of West Virginia?
Yes.
Really?
got you.
No, we're not.
You have to be a resident.
But
president
everybody
to be
of West
citizen.
Virginia is citizens of the U.S., but that doesn't make us citizens
But
of
do you
West
see,
Virginia.
even though I think there's a chance I'm coming off like an idiot, this question is valid. A couple of the things that make...
Whether we are citizens of Puerto Rico
No,
is a
the
valid
We have to
question.
live in Puerto Rico to be a citizen of Puerto Rico. But it's America.
No,
But
I don't think you do.
I think your bigger point that this guy
But
is
wait a
not
minute.
the only one confused.
Right.
Is right.
I'm not going to go up and shoot some girl or whatever this jerk did.
Right.
But I
He
think
didn't
there
do
are
that.
valid questions. Is it a state?
It's
Is it
a
the 50
territory. It's
Yeah.
been a territory for
Can they
over
vote?
100 years.
Kinda. They can
They
kinda.
can
See,
vote.
they can kind of vote.
Right.
Doesn't my all of a
They
sudden my
don't
point
have
goes,
enough-
oh, I see.
They don't
Mr.
have
Bonaduce.
electoral college rights, but they do vote. Puerto Rico votes. Puerto Rico can vote for almost everything. But to accost a woman because she's being un-American for wearing a Puerto Rico shirt, you're a dummy.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
dummy.
no, he's a dummy. Yeah.
And he is now facing several charges
But
as well.
if I saw a girl or a boy wearing a downright anti-American T-shirt, like a phrase "Go to hell, America" or something,
Yeah.
I would totally talk to that guy.
Yeah, but if you saw somebody with like a flag of Mexico on their T-shirt, you would not say, "You're un-American. Get out of my country."
I would be yelling at myself because I have several shirts with the Mexican flag on. My brother, who just sent me a letter, lives in Mexico, so
Yeah.
I'm aware that he's not. By the way, he's not a citizen. Lived there 20 years now. When's that going to happen?
wow. How do you become he's not a citizen of Mexico? But how do you
Right.
become a citizen of Mexico? Does he have to like?
I don't know. It's not a thing that anybody seems to really want to do that much.
Right. Yeah.
Today is July 11th.
I know what that means.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
It's 7-Eleven.
Oh, no, I didn't, but I
Slurpee
do
day.
now.
Free Slurpee Day today. Between the hours of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m., you can get a small free Slurpee. So I figured I'd give you some good news because the entire show has been nonsense so far. So that's the good news.
I disagree vehemently.
Yeah. I feel like we solved that whole Puerto Rico thing.
Yeah, me too. And we saw the how do you scat?
And we know what Danny's next job's going to be. He wants to be an executioner.
Well, I want to be. I would just do my duty, which
It's-
is like an insult to do to a guy after you kill him.
It's time for today's
cruel
Things That
and
Happened
unusual
in
punishment.
Florida.
Do your duty.
Story of the day.
Yay!
There is an interesting tale being spun by the Miami Herald talking about a man who is, turns out, an international swindler. He was posing as Saudi royalty. He was getting money from all sorts of people. He was pretending to be a businessman, super rich. He went under the alias Sultan bin Khalid Al Saud, 47 years old. People were taking him out, wining and dining him to the tune of thousands of dollars. He was being bought gifts because people wanted to go into business with the Sultan. Well, his plan got foiled when somebody noticed him eating bacon and pork products during meals.
That would definitely do it.
So he's in Miami at the Fontainebleau, getting wined and dined, and he eats bacon. They said shenanigans.
I would think he doesn't keep kosher or whatever, where you can have.
Yeah, he just doesn't follow the rules.
Not all princes are automatically good Muslims.
It is a devout Muslim country, and chances are you wouldn't be living there or be a sultan anymore if you were eating bacon. So they said, I don't know if I believe this. So they did a little bit of investigating, and turns out he's not a sultan. He's a scammer.
Sultan bin Lion.
That's totally it, Paul. Sultan bin Lion.
There's something in there about insulting, but I don't.
I was thinking about Mike insulting.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Ah, Florida.
Whew, we clearly need to take a quick break.
After like a couple of days.
I think so. No, we'll be right back. Donald Trump talking about Rocket Man and Elton John. Tell you about that story. Yes. Well, he's setting the record straight, Mr. Trump. We'll talk about that in music news. Justin Timberlake doing something very cool before one of his concerts tonight. We'll tell you what he is up to. It's a big sports day. Lots to talk about. Plus, we've got a pair of Mariners tickets for you to win next. Well, we are now finding out a little bit more about Donald Trump and Elton John's Rocket Man CD. Turns out it was not given to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un after all.
No way. I just read a story about it this morning.
President Trump says Secretary of State Mike Pompeo did not deliver Donald Trump's gift of an autographed Elton John CD. Now, we know Pompeo went to meet with Kim Jong-un this week, but he didn't actually meet him face to face. Therefore, he did not give him a copy of the CD. Now, previously, we know Donald Trump had called him that, and he thought this would be funny. Donald Trump told reporters yesterday he has the CD, and it will be given to Kim Jong-un at another time.
If he agrees to meet with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has too much to lose to not agree. If there's a real light at the end of the tunnel for this guy, his people are starving to death. Something's going to go bad. But would you kid around with a dictator who kills his relatives by rocket launcher? You know what? I called him Little Rocket Man. He didn't like it, but I'll bet now I'll give him the CD and he'll think, huh, we're pals. Would you take that shot with that guy?
I would not.
I would not.
Justin Timberlake yesterday surprised London fans with an exciting announcement on Instagram. Before his show tonight, the O2 Arena will open its doors early for the first time ever and welcome Justin Timberlake fans to watch England versus Croatia in the World Cup semifinals. So he posted this to Instagram. He's like, everyone's excited about this huge deal in England, but if you bought tickets to the concert, why don't we pair them together?
Oh, so you'd have to miss the game to see the concert.
You might miss some of it by traveling, but the O2 Arena has those huge...
All right, sure. No, it's neat.
Cameras and lights everywhere.
Are light-hearted young ladies that want to see Justin Timberlake just going to turn into soccer hooligans and kill each other and rip their hair out?
That's pretty sexist of you to say that women aren't soccer fans.
No, I said women are fans of violence, really.
England loves soccer, and they're not all hooligans. I think a lot of the bad behavior...
Oh, I see what you thought. No, I just put chicks at the Justin Timberlake thing. It had nothing to do with soccer.
I think Justin Timberlake's probably 60-40. Guys, girls, men love Justin Timberlake as well. Who doesn't like Justin Timberlake?
I do.
When was the last time you went to a Justin Timberlake show?
I've not been to a Justin Timberlake concert. Huh. I do like his music, though.
I like it. I like his music. I like him. I like his new weird commercial for that Bai drink that tastes like crap. But he's Justin Timberlake. What the hell?
Well, England has only won the World Cup once, back in 1966. They are now one game away from the final, so everybody's excited. And think about this way, too. A lot of parents will be taking young kids. So dad was planning on taking kids to the concert.
Yeah.
Mom and dad want to watch the World Cup. They will be able to go do so at the O2 Arena tonight.
Because I think people still have a trepidation about concerts in England, after Ariana Grande and stuff, and the death metal, the Eagles of death metal, things like that. Although when I was in France, to my surprise, because, there are people that really, and this happened before, you carry a fake French or a fake Canadian passport. so you don't show everybody you're an American, which I would think is incredibly unpatriotic.
Yeah.
But walking around, I expected to be treated poorly because of my crazy president that's hassling their crazy president. And everybody was super nice to me. Nobody seemed to care where you were from or what you were doing, what hat you were wearing.
Donny Osmond has asked fans for thoughts and prayers for his brother Tom Osmond, who is currently on life support after a quadruple bypass heart surgery. He said, "We don't know what the future holds, but it's in the Lord's hands. Our entire family would appreciate your thoughts and prayers on behalf of my sweet brother." Tom Osmond was born deaf. Marie Osmond said,
He has no idea how lucky he was. Come on, listen to this.
Well, Marie Osmond said, "Can you imagine being born into a family of singers? It can't have been easy for him, but he was such a sweetheart. He's the second eldest in our family, and he is facing the fight of his life."
All right. Well, God bless him. It doesn't cost anything to throw out a prayer if that's what he's asking for. I was about to say Donny Osmond's always been nice to me. It's totally untrue. He's been a dick to me half the time. But having said that, I will throw out a prayer to his brother Tom.
Just don't throw out any punches.
Nope.
Tomorrow night is round 2 of the Battle of the Puget Sound Bands at Muckleshoot's Casino's Club Galaxy. Derek and Tori will be hosting the event. They'll be watching 3 bands compete for a spot in the finals, and their shot at the cash prize, first place cash prize, $10,000.
Not bad.
That's awesome. Yeah, local band getting a chance to win 10 grand.
It's pretty amazing. The first band will take the stage at 8 o'clock, so be there to root for your favorites because the audience decides who moves on and who goes home.
Yeah, cheer thing. They have that clap-o-meter or whatever it is. It says how much sound you're making.
Yep, so Derek and Tori will be hosting that. Again, that is tomorrow night, Club Galaxy at Muckleshoot. A lot of us, most of us, I feel like, were riveted, boy, watching the rescue of the boys and the soccer coach in Thailand.
Yeah, we were.
Now, some people thought, and Danny, I think you even said this, it kind of reminded you of the Chilean miners.
Very much like the Chilean miners.
Well, remember what happened when they got rescued? They then were told, this was a crazy, awesome story. We're making this into a movie starring Antonio Banderas.
Right.
Well, guess what they're doing with the story of the boys in Thailand?
Making a movie starring Antonio Banderas.
You're close.
That seems like odd casting.
It does seem weird, doesn't it?
They are going to make it into a movie. They said one of the...
You know what's good is they had like 18 days to write it. And they just leave the end open.
Do you think Matt Damon's going to grow his ponytail back out for this one?
Talking about rescuing the kids, yeah.
There's a company called Pure Flix, which specializes in inspirational movies. They did one back a couple years ago called God's Not Dead, which grossed $70 million.
Yeah, I think I may have seen that one.
Well, the guy who runs it, his wife went to school with the Thai Navy SEAL diver who died.
Oh, wow.
What are the odds of that?
Right, a little crazy. So they think this will be the company who likely makes the story of these boys and the heroic rescue.
That's weird, though. There's more money in it and the more money backing non-religious, non-inspirational movies. It's a great movie, you know?
Yeah.
Why do you have to hunker it down to inspirational? It can't help but be inspirational. But I mean, I don't see it as a
like, why
miniseries,
wouldn't a big studio?
deal. Yeah, put that money in there instead of spending God's money. I'm not sure, man.
Sarah Palin took to Facebook yesterday to reveal she was unknowingly interviewed by Sacha Baron Cohen for his new Showtime series. We talked about the show a little bit yesterday. We don't really know a lot about it. Paul had theorized that it's going to be like Ali G, political.
I'd say it's crap.
I've seen him do some stuff with politicians and even American politicians where they thought he was a legitimate journalist. Yeah. And they were very, very funny. Like, he has the potential to do really funny programs.
I agree. He's done very funny stuff, but then he did the gag where he stayed in the house of a couple that lived through the
Holocaust.
Holocaust, thank you very much, and the camps. I mean, they literally had the tattoos on, and he actually tried some gag with the tattoos, like who wins at poker with the numbers on your wrist. Yeah. No, I could have been more offensive, and I think this one is close.
Well, Sacha Baron Cohen has been doing this for years. The Ali G show was very successful. I mean, he's probably been doing this for 20 years at this point. The Ali G show was on a long time ago. Borat was 10 years ago. So he is back, Showtime, this series called Who is America? Sarah Palin is furious.
Well, she should be.
She was duped by Sacha Baron Cohen into believing that he was a vet, and she was interviewed by
a disabled
him.
vet.
A disabled vet.
Yeah, he pretends to be a disabled veteran.
Yeah.
Here comes the comedy train.
Fake wheelchair and all, according to Sarah Palin. Now, she also claims that Showtime, their team, purposely dropped her and her daughter off at the wrong airport in Washington, D.C., knowing that they would all miss their flights back to Alaska. She said this is another example of the sick nature that is media/entertainment today. You are a piece of bleep, and you are dishonoring America.
Yeah, I am with her completely on that.
Although I'd drop her off at the wrong airport. It sounds kind of fun.
But would you seriously, but for a gag, would you pretend to be a wheelchair-bound veteran?
I would not do that. No.
Okay, and you're a terrible person.
I am
you
a pretty
wouldn't
bad
do
person.
it. So, and I'm a fairly bad guy, and I wouldn't do it. So that makes Sacha Baron Cohen a piece of bleep.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll still watch though, just to see. Like, I'm not going to seek out that episode, but like I'll watch the show to see if it's any fun.
Do you have Showtime?
Yeah. No, I don't think I do.
You can watch it online though.
Yeah, I'll find it.
No, you're going out of your
Showtime.
way to watch it. You're a traitor. You're a terrible person.
I'm saying I won't specifically seek out that episode. Like, oh, it's so funny, the guy in the wheelchair. But I'll watch the show to see what it's like. Give it a shot.
Derek, you were a fan of Ollie G. Are you going to watch this show?
Oh, I think it sounds hilarious, but I loved everything he's done.
He got Dick Cheney to autograph a waterboard kit.
Yep.
Like, who doesn't want to watch this show?
That's really funny.
And he also got Ron Paul with Bruno. That was a great segment.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that means.
He did an interview with.
I know what Ron Paul is.
So what's the question? He did it in character. He dupes
That's the
people.
thing. It's like he plays these characters and they're believable to people, and then they answer outrageous questions that they wouldn't normally answer.
Yeah, I hate it.
It's hilarious, Danny. Watch some of the old episodes.
No, I'm not doing it.
Or just watch Showtime on Sunday. That's when it debuts. The original hand-drawn map of Winnie the Pooh's 100-acre woods has sold at auction for $571,000.
Oh, that's a lot of poo.
Yeah.
This is a record price for a book illustration. It sold at Sotheby's yesterday for 3 times the pre-sale estimate. Somebody really wanted to get their hands on Pooh. Shepard's 1926 sketch features the beloved characters, including Pooh, Christopher Robin, the bee tree, Eeyore's gloomy place. It's really cute.
Is there one coming out right now?
A movie, yeah.
Yeah, with the British guy that was in Star Wars.
Yes.
McGregor.
David McGregor.
Yeah. So that's a new one?
Yes.
And this one is from 1926.
Are we still fighting over Pooh?
I don't understand the question.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Are you and I, or who's?
No, America versus England.
I'm still not following.
What's the fight, though? Paddington Bear versus Pooh?
Oh, could it be? No. We stole one of the bears. I thought that was Winnie the Pooh and put it in our museum. And recently they said, hey, we didn't give you that. Give that back.
I had no idea that Pooh was British. Paddington's British.
Maybe I mean Paddington. All those animated bears.
Indiana Jones won't be swinging back into movie theaters until at least 2021. Walt Disney announced yesterday the planned 5th installment of Indiana Jones.
No, it's Rick Jones.
It's Rick Jones.
He's going to join us at 7:30 today.
That is true. Well, Indiana Jones was supposed to be
Indiana
back
Jones
next year.
I'll try it. Indiana Jones. No, you're right. It's fun.
Yeah,
Rick Jones.
Well, Rick Jones.
Yeah.
Rick Jones.
Yeah, that's what we said. Rick Jones.
Okay, we're shouting with enthusiasm. You're crazy.
Rick Jones.
You clearly aren't talking to me. You're talking to Paul.
I am. I'm talking to all of you.
Rick Jones.
Rick Jones will be joining us in less than an hour. 7:30. He will be here taking your calls, talking all things divorce for free. Free legal advice.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, I am in awe about saying it because maybe it's weird. But that's exactly what this is. You call up a top-notch lawyer and say he or she is divorcing me. How much do I get? And a top-notch lawyer says, oh, you'll get this because I'm Rick Jones and I know everything.
Even if you're not currently going through a divorce, even if you maybe haven't even thought about going through a divorce, it's worth it just to call in, like just to check it out, you know?
Yeah.
I want to find out, would it be worth it?
The fact that I keep Rick Jones's number on my nightstand, it bugs Amy, but you can never be too much.
Find out if you get a good deal.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports
brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys.
Bradley Johnson. No, it's not. It's not the same.
So not one.
If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. It was a tough outing for the Mariners last night. They lost 9-3. The Angels got 15 hits, overcame an injury to their starting pitcher who left in the third inning. On the bright side, Mitch Haniger, all-star Mitch Haniger, hit a 3-run home run, his 18th of 7 start time on Root Sports, which means we will play an in-studio version of Mariners KZOK Music Trivia, so you can win tickets to an upcoming home game. Here's how it works. We play you a song clip. You start calling immediately to tell us the artist, the year it came out, and the song title. Derek, play everybody the clip. All right, call now to win. 800-252-1025. Artist, song title, and year it came out. Tonight, we will see Marco Gonzalez against Jaime Barria, 7:07 time on Root Sports. Felix Hernandez was placed on the 10-day disabled list, is expected back in the rotation after the All-Star break. They said he's had some back issues. Take advantage of the All-Star break next week in order for him to heal up. Now, we've been talking about Gene Segura, who we know should be in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
But now it's looking like it might happen.
They were going crazy on the news. I'm on the treadmill, and I thought, we started that.
Absolutely, we
I
started
think we
that,
totally started that.
Yeah.
That guy Shalhoub or whatever his name is.
Shub?
Yeah, he came in here with a little piece of paper and phone number and said, if you want to, you can root for this guy. And I thought, you know what? Let's throw this character a bone. And then, what do you know? He's
leading the votes right now.
He's leading the votes.
Totally are doing.
Totally,
He is leading
100%.
the votes ahead of second place Andrew Benintendi from Boston, John Carlos Stanton of the Yankees, but it's not over yet.
No, it's
over
not.
yet.
6 hours and 13 minutes left to vote. So get your votes in, mariners.com/vote. They did something really awesome yesterday. They've been doing something really awesome this whole time and doing the sweepstakes where you can win tickets to a game. You can get a picture with Gene Segura. They've got the 2-for-1 ticket deal. If you vote, you can buy 2-for-1 tickets to an upcoming game. Yesterday, they were doing in-person voting out at Safeco.
Oh, wow.
So you could go down and vote like in person. They had computers there set up so you could
That's
vote.
neat.
You guys remember Pat, who used to work in our promotions department?
Oh, yeah.
I do.
So he went down there yesterday. He's on the computer. He's doing his vote in person. And somebody walks up behind him, stands in line, and it was Felix Hernandez.
No way.
Felix
Super
Hernandez
cool.
came out to stand in line to vote. So, he put up a picture up on social media. But hashtag Send Segura is where everybody's posting all the excitement about trying to get Gene Segura.
cool.
But he just walked out and stood in line with everybody else,
Super cool.
including some dude we knew.
I love it. Felix Hernandez, what a good sport. All right, vote now for Gene Segura. Yesterday, the LA Sparks defeated the Storm in overtime. Up next, Saturday, Dallas Wings, 6 o'clock start time. France has made it to the World Cup finals for the first time since 2006 with a 1-0 win over Paul's team, Belgium.
Yeah, it was a bummer to watch. I mean, it was a great game.
It was an exciting game,
Yeah.
a great match. There were presidents there. There were royalty. Rock stars were there.
Mick Jagger was there. It was kind
the
of
same guy, royalty and rock star. Mick Jagger pretty high up the food chain.
It was funny
true.
because you said presidents. That Macron dude was there, the French president, and they panned him, over to him and showed him on the goal celebration. He was all happy, and they showed him a handful of times, and the commentators never said a word. I don't think they recognized him.
No.
And then they panned by. I think the cameraman recognized him and zoomed in on him.
Yeah.
But they never said a word. And then they panned over to Mick Jagger, and everybody's like, "Oh, Mick Jagger's here! Check it out!"
Well, I got to tell you, in my opinion, Mick Jagger's a bigger name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to an American president, there are no real bigger names. You could fight it out with Vladimir or anything
Right.
like that. But we're bigger than your rock stars. We're bigger than your presidents. We're America.
Yeah.
But that's close.
You'd
Did they
think there'd be
mention
somebody in their ear going, "Hey, that's the
Yeah.
president of the country that's winning the match."
Did they mention the King of Belgium who was there?
No, and they showed a shot. I saw a shot of the two of them shaking hands, and there was just no words. Like
How strange.
they just showed it on camera, but they didn't mention it.
Hey, isn't Mick Jagger a knight now?
I believe
I
he
think
is.
so, yeah.
That was, but only kind of recently, not like the Beatles who've had it forever. Mm-hmm. All right.
But was it one of the lower? Is he a sir or is he?
No, I don't think he's a
one of the
sir.
other
You don't think he's a sir? I know that the Beatles weren't sirs when they gave him medals 40 years
I
ago.
think
or whatever.
he's the lower down one.
But Paul McCartney is now a knight, a
Yeah.
full
He's a
sir,
sir.
right?
Yeah.
But Mick Jagger
I
not.
don't think Mick Jagger's Sir Mick Jagger.
It's online. It says Sir Michael Philip Jagger.
Oh, look, Tori setting the record
right.
straight.
Thank you.
2002. So that's a while ago.
Oh, we're stupid.
Now, see, I would have thought that is
we're
recent.
stupid.
I would have thought that that's recent.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
What do we know? Apparently nothing. That's why Tori is the music expert. Let's see here. Dallas in Puyallup. He heard us playing Mariners KZOK music trivia. Derek, play that song again, please.
Anytime.
Dallas and Puyallup knew that was Summer of '69 from Bryan Adams. He also knew it didn't come out in 1969.
69.
It came out in 1985.
Oh, I wouldn't have gotten that one.
Was the summer
I said I had
of
88
85.
because that's one of the songs I played constantly the year I got in the radio.
Dallas and Puyallup is going to the Jeep winners window in our lobby to pick up tickets to what, Derek?
Dallas won tickets for the game on July 20th at 7:10 versus the Chicago White Sox, which just happens to be Pearl Jam fireworks night.
Pearl Jam fireworks night.
You don't want to miss the third of 5 fireworks shows at Safeco Field this summer on July 20th after the M's face the White Sox. The Mariners will be celebrating Seattle's own Pearl Jam with a fireworks spectacular featuring all of your favorite songs by the legendary band. Rock out by heading to mariners.com for tickets.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Dallas. The rest of you, your next chance to win Mariners tickets tomorrow morning at this same time. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUIOA, 1-800-DUIOA. A lot of shows still coming up. 7:20, your tickets to see Paul Rogers. 7:30, Life Coach is returning with special guest Rick Jones to talk about all things divorce. Rick Jones!
Rick Jones!
So we have a whole bunch coming up in just the next half hour, 20 minutes or so from now, a little less than that, actually. We're playing the game Paul Roger or Paul Rogers, and that'll get you in to see Paul Rogers if you win and playing the EQC. And then Life Coach coming up, Rick Jones.
Rick Jones!
I don't even know why we do that, and I still do that. Rick Jones will be in studio. He will, he's from Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. If you want to know anything about divorce, your divorce, somebody else's divorce, your kid's divorce, whatever it is, make sure to call up this morning at 7:30 to talk to Rick Jones.
Well, speaking of talking, experts are saying that millennials are not very good conversationalists because so much of their time is spent online, texting, emailing, as opposed to having face-to-face conversations. Right. So when it's time for a face-to-face conversation, they're not good at it. And
that's true enough.
Mm-hmm. Some of them are seeking help, reading books or talking to experts like, how do I start a conversation? What's a good icebreaker?
Oh, you shouldn't read a book about it. You should go say hi to somebody, I think.
But you can't just say hi. I mean, I remember Gibbons, who used to work here, his go-to was, sup, girl.
Even if you were a guy.
Yep.
The weirdest thing. Sup, girl.
Yeah,
sup, girl.
Did it work for him?
Yes.
Yeah, people talk to him, I guess.
Hey, cool.
It's the strange thing. Gibbons was really good at talking to strangers. And
Gibbons wasn't even that good at talking.
But
he had no shame. He should have had shame. He should have had a lot of shame, but he didn't.
There was just something, I guess, this fearlessness, being able to just go up and have an icebreaker and talk to a stranger.
What is it about that particular job on this show that leads to hiring scummy people? No offense, dude, in any way.
I thought we were talking about Paul. We're talking about Derek?
No, I was talking about Derek.
But, it is a bit of an art. If you're waiting somewhere and there's a whole bunch of strangers around you, do you say something? What do you say?
I've told you this in other portions of the show over the years. I've never asked a girl to dance. Mm-hmm. Just because I don't know how you walk up and go. I mean, you didn't say sup when I was at the age of asking girls to dance. But I've known what I do say. I will walk up to a girl proudly and go, wow, great shoes. Now,
That's
theoretically, they've got to be okay shoes. You can't just got tennies on. But you go up to a girl, kind of just cash, like, hey, I'm not going to spend extra time here. I'm not gross and horrible. I just like those shoes. So I say, oh, those are great shoes. And then when I go to move along, she, of course, tells me she loves me.
But is that
and then you guys get married.
Yeah.
Is that an icebreaker you can use with anyone? So, I mean, I'm not talking like picking up a girl. But say you're just around strangers and want to make conversation with someone. Will that work for anyone?
If they're great shoes, absolutely.
I think so.
People that wear great shoes are very, very proud of it. When I was a kid, growing up, little kid, there was a how to pick up chicks or how to talk to women booklet that you got in the back of cartoons or something like that. And it said to go up to girls and say, oh, I really like your hat. But then women stopped wearing hats, so that's when I moved on to shoes. So I just walked by. Oh, those are great shoes, and I have not ever had a bad response, and I've had a bad response to other stuff. But hey, those are great shoes. People like it.
Probably didn't have the same response.
That's right.
Well, you guys listening, do you have a go-to icebreaker? What's your small talk go-to? It's not necessarily picking up a chick. It could just be having to talk to somebody. Like we said, Gibbons' Sup Girl worked for all genders. Strangely enough. What is your icebreaker? Call now. Let us know. 800-252-1025 or text 90627.
All right, now here's how this all starts. It starts with millennials don't know how to start a conversation with a real live human being. They always have their faces in their phones and tab pads and things like that. So the question to you is, do you have a go-to icebreaker? Mine is, hey, nice shoes. Do you have a go-to icebreaker? Here's the phone number, 1-800-252-1025, or you can text to 90627.
We're going to start with Trucker Rob in Seattle.
Hey, good morning, sunshine.
Morning, sweetheart. What do you got?
Oh, dude, I'm loving this weather. It looks like the next 10 days we're looking in the 80s. I'm loving it. Summer's finally here, brother, man. Can't argue.
All right, what do you got?
You know what his icebreaker is, Danny?
What?
The weather.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it is.
That's mine.
I judge harshly on that.
I know. I'm terrible at small talk, though. I hate it. I try and avoid it. And so if I'm forced into it, I'll go with something lame like,
How about the weather?
Hey, how about that? Hey, is it hot enough out there for you?
How do you not correlate that small talk?
Yeah.
Huge portion of your job.
Yeah,
and you're great at it.
Yeah, and wouldn't you agree? I couldn't be worse at it.
No, I think you get people to tell you're a terrible person. But you're not a bad small talker.
I think I'm protected by the microphone and the fact that we're here in the studio. If I were face to face with all of these people that are listening, I would say, "Hey, it's nice out there, isn't it? Look at that sun."
It's not easy, for sure.
How about them Mariners?
I think you should be able to.
Is not the weather.
I think anybody that comes up to you and is 90 and says hot enough for you, you should be able to like set them on fire.
Trucker Rob, what is yours?
Actually, my main one, especially during the time of year, always, how about them Seahawks?
Yeah.
Yeah, sports.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
To my great surprise, because I've never cared about a sport ever in my whole life except maybe boxing, somebody looked at me and very proudly went, "Go Hawks!" And I went, "Yeah, go Hawks!" I kept walking and I realized I'm wearing a Seahawks shirt. No one's ever done that to me before. Now I do it. I see a guy or a girl in a Seahawks shirt and I immediately go Hawks! And they're always happy to hear it.
That's right.
I end up having so many in-depth sports conversations with strangers just because I'm always wearing a ball cap, either a Mariners or a Seahawks hat. And so people are always talking sports, and they're generally a lot more knowledgeable than me. Like, I'm a fan, but I'm not like, I don't follow, I don't keep track of stats and stuff.
Right.
And so we get into a really deep sports conversation, and I'm just making it up as I go.
Joe in Lake Stevens, what's your go-to icebreaker? What's your small talk go-to?
Well, for me, what works is when you walk into the room, you got to be full of self-confidence. You got to look the person square in the eye, give them the iron handshake, and say, "What's up?"
What up?
Again, you're kind of, Joe, I love you. You've been one of our most loyal listeners for the longest time, but that's right up there with hot enough for you. I should be able to set Joe on fire. I should be able to go to Joe's house and Lake Stevens and set him on fire.
Richard in White Center, what is your go-to icebreaker?
Richard's gone.
Let's go to Denisha in North Bend. Let's talk to her about her go-to icebreaker.
Denisha, you there?
Oh, yes, I'm here. Hi.
Cool.
Hey.
Hi.
Mine is, well, my millennial has a baby, right? So my icebreaker, because she won't say anything, she'll be looking at her phone. I'll say, "Oh, hey, how old is your baby?" when we're out with the baby. And there you go. There's a conversation.
It's easy to talk about the
babies.
kids, yeah.
Okay, but there
and
does
dogs.
have to be a baby there.
No.
Yes.
Or no, you're kind of crazy if you go up to somebody who doesn't have a baby with them and say, "Hey, nice baby."
Yeah.
I think it's an issue.
But don't you know a lot of people that use their pets that way too? Pets and their dogs. You'd be like, "Oh, can I pet your dog?" And like, "Oh, what kind is it? How old is it?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
cute." Let's hear from Richard in Seattle. Your go-to icebreaker is what?
Good morning. Well, this would be directed towards a gal, so I'm going to say it to Sarah. Do you ever get tired of hearing how pretty you are?
And she said yes. Richard would like to know, Sarah, if he walked up to you and said, "Hey, do you ever get tired of hearing how beautiful you are?"
No.
Would that work?
No.
No, you think you're a creepy weirdo, dude.
You wouldn't talk to him? You wouldn't talk to Richard if he said that
I would
to you?
talk to Richard.
Okay.
No,
Then
he
it
can't
works.
be the actual Richard. That's no fair. if you're a listener, we owe you something right away. Nice baby. Okay, nice baby, whatever you got.
But if somebody comes up to you and says, do you ever get tired of hearing how pretty you are? You talk to that person for a couple of minutes.
I would talk to them because they're being nice.
It works then.
Okay, I have small talk in reverse. You want to get my attention? This is how I met my wife. Oh, hey, I really enjoyed your book. Like, oh, dude, that was so hard to do. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure your wife went up to you and said, "Are you okay? You're crying hysterically."
Well, that would work too if you were.
Yeah, I don't know why it would have happened, but all right.
The story you've told me before is that you guys were at Starbucks and you were distraught because your wife told you she wanted a divorce.
It sounds better that she read my book, which she did.
Let's see if Richard is back yet.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, Sarah, how are you?
What?
Better than you.
What?
Richard.
Hey, almost over icebreaker.
Richard, your phone stinks, sweetheart. We
Richard's
would love
about
to
to
hear
go
from
through
you.
a tunnel. No,
You know what?
Richard's in a tunnel.
No, you fools.
What?
What?
This is his icebreaker.
Oh.
This is what he does.
What? I can't hear you.
We're
What?
all on pins and needles now because Richard needs our attention. This very clever young man.
Let's go to Carla in Seattle. Do you have an icebreaker, Carla?
Hi, it's so glad to talk to you guys again. And I would say that it's a situational thing, depending on the situation. So if you're in an elevator, it's taking forever, you say, can you believe how long this elevator is taking? Or you're standing in line for Solo. Kind of, I finally saw the movie and it's like, did you guys like the last movies? You know, and it's proposing a question that has them answer it, and it just starts the conversation rolling from there. It's effective for me.
So it's a question. She'll ask some sort of question that's broad, like you're going to the movies. Oh, did you watch the last Star Wars? Did you like it?
Okay, I get that. This
Situational.
elevator takes a long time. Like you're already involved in
Can
that.
you believe how long this takes? So they have to say, yeah. This is
I'm used to hearing that from
forever.
chicks. Thank you.
Shauna in Marysville, what's your go-to icebreaker?
Okay, well, I met my husband, and the first night I met him, I grabbed his face and I kissed him. And that's how we broke.
Me too. That's
hello?
how I met your husband.
That's pretty bold.
Yeah, it's real bold.
Yeah. What about our friend Brent in Port Townsend?
Hey, Brent.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
Morning, honey.
Your dad must have been a thief because he stole all the stars in the sky, placed them in your eyes.
No,
what's your phone number?
Would you give me your phone number? I would give you a phone number, but only because I thought you were being funny.
Yeah.
Your dad was a baker because you sure have great buns or whatever these weird lines are.
We got one
Do you live near an airport? Because my heart is taking off.
We got one great one into 90627, the text line. My go-to line is, hey, did your mom ever find my socks?
That's hysterical.
Oh
I'd be friends with that guy immediately.
Absolutely.
It took 2.5 years for Paul and I to jump over into the make mom jokes because they can be dicey, but always funny, and that's how you know you got a friend.
Chuck or Mike, what's your go-to icebreaker?
Hey, good morning, people.
Morning.
Hey, real simple. My brother's an idiot, Trucker Rob. I love him, but the one I've always used that actually it works about half the time is walk into a bar and just simply go, screaming, oh, or sex on the beach. What you like?
I like it. Yeah. One of my very first bits or games I ever did on the radio that I would record, and this was in Chicago, 88, 89. I would knock on somebody's door and I'd say, hey, my car just broke down the street. Do you have a screwdriver? And they'd come back with the screwdriver and go, oh, no, I mean the drink. It's a terrible day. And if you got them to make you a drink, you were like the winner of the game.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was my very first thing I ever made up on the radio. I was very proud.
Tori, what's your go-to icebreaker?
If you want to talk to a cute guy, all you have to do is look confused, ask for directions, and smile.
Or be a girl.
Or just smile.
Or just be yourself.
Exactly, maybe.
Yeah. Act confused. Hey.
And Derek, what's your go-to icebreaker?
It's been a while since I've used one because I actually got a girl to hang out with me recently, which is pretty ridiculous. But
we agree.
I do agree.
I know. But when I was using icebreakers, I would always use the simple one. Hey, do you know Steve? Because everybody knows somebody named Steve.
Nobody knows Steve.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty clever.
He was recently here with Becky. You remember Becky?
Yeah.
Of course. So this girl, how's that going?
Oh, it's going great.
Yeah, how long has it been going on?
A little while.
Where's she work?
Don't worry about it.
At least I took a shot.
Thanks for your calls and texts, everybody. It is now time to play the new game, Sweeping the Nation. Paul, Roger, or Paul Rogers?
Paul, Roger, or Paul Rogers.
This is your chance to win tickets to see Paul Rogers at the EQC September 29th. Here's how it works. Danny's going to give you some song lyrics. To win, you'll have to tell us if they were written by a Paul, a Roger, or by Paul Rogers. Our contestant is Mark in Kenmore.
Hey, Mark, how the hell are you?
I'm great. How you doing, you people?
What do you mean, you people? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I do.
And do you understand the rules of the game?
Very much so.
Then let's win, shall we? Although he claims to have used very few drugs, especially compared to other rock stars of his era, this song definitely sounds like it was written by someone who has become comfortably numb. Hey, you out there on your own, sitting naked by the phone, would you touch me? Hey, you with your ear against the wall, waiting for someone to call out, would you touch me? Was that written by Paul Roger or Paul Rogers?
That would be Roger.
That's correct. Yeah, Roger Waters.
I think you took a shot. I don't even know what Roger you just met.
Mr. Waters.
All right, you win, mister.
He didn't even need to give that. Was like the bonus. Roger Waters is correct. It was written by a Roger. Therefore, you, my friend, have won tickets to see Paul Rogers September 29th at the Emerald Queen Casino.
Danny was spooked because that guy had as much confidence as all of the wrong callers earlier in the week. Everybody was like, definitely Paul Rogers, 100%.
Definitely Paul.
No, that was Paul McCartney. Nope. What do you mean?
Go to the Jeep Winners window in our lobby to pick up those tickets. The rest of you can win again tomorrow at this same time.
Well, I'm very excited about this. He's sitting to my left even as we speak, so the excitement has already begun for us. But Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones, call 1-800-DIVORCE, in studio. And if you call right now at 1-800-252-1025, and you can ask Rick Jones all questions about the divorce, and he won't even send you a bill. Call now. All right, it is in fact Danny Bonaduce, life coach, with special guest Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE, or you can go online to goldbergjones.com, or you can call us right now, and I think that's the smart move, 1-800-252-1025.
Good morning to you, Rick.
Good morning.
How are you, buddy?
I'm well. You?
Are you ready to help out everybody with their divorce questions?
Let's do it.
There's a lot of divorce. I mean, are we up to 52% still?
Oh, man, it might even be creeping up higher than that.
Do you root for it, Rick?
No. I just want my market share.
Like you, Paul.
I mean, it's good business for you.
You know what I have guessed, I've noticed over the years? We used to behave way better when Rick Jones was
we've gotten comfortable.
And now we've just gone insane. Sarah didn't even say good morning to him. He said good morning, and she said, and I quote, "Dude, that's a big sponsor and a real live attorney right there."
What's up with this?
800-252-1025. Start calling right now to talk to Rick Jones. This is free legal advice for you right now. Our first caller is Greg in Port Orchard.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
It's all good. What do you got? You got something for Rick Jones?
I do. My wife and I have been married for about 6 years. We haven't done anything legal yet. Is starting to the courts. I'm just curious what a ballpark of what this is going to cost me would be.
Well, the expense is really going to be based on how much time is required on both sides of a case to resolve the case, and that's what your ultimate goal is to be done. So a lot of the legwork you can actually get done yourself if the two of you can communicate and keep an amicable nature going on. You can scribble things on the back of a napkin, take it to an attorney, and if that's all that needed to be resolved, you're going to be out of there really quick. Unfortunately, we also see a lot of the other side, which is you've got two people at each other's throat a little bit and contested issues which are emotionally packed, and those are cases that can last months and months and go all the way to trial.
All right, people say all the time when they call this show or just in my life and even in one of my many divorces, we don't need a lawyer. This is going to be really friendly. And I will tell you, that's always more expensive from having a lawyer from the get-go, because by the time you say, well, it turns out we do need a lawyer, now you're mad. You should have started with a lawyer before anybody got mad. That's my advice to you.
Well, and I'm sure there are some cases of divorce that it can be pretty easy. And a lot of times people think this is going to cost millions of dollars and they procrastinate when happiness is probably right around the corner.
The biggest thing somebody can do when they're involved in a divorce is to be done.
Yeah.
And there's value. There's actually monetary value I think people should place on that.
I agree with that. If you've got a question for Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones, you should be calling right now, 800-252-1025. Taking all your questions about custody, divorce, all the matters that happen when you are going through a separation. We do have an email from Roger in Lakewood who says, I informed my wife about my desire to end our relationship, and I want to start the separation process. She is refusing to talk to me. She believes I'm trying to pressure her to negotiate things while we're still married. I would like to move out of the house because things are hostile. But is it better to file for divorce while we are both physically under the same roof?
You know, it's really going to be circumstantial on that. You'll hear from me a lot, and I'm sure you have over the years, where I say, don't move out if custody is at issue.
Yeah,
if you've got kids in the house.
Which he does.
Okay, so what you don't want to do is you don't want to set what's called a status quo of you being the one out, somebody else, your spouse being the one in, and the kids being the one in. Because during a case, it can, literally it can last a year plus. What happens is there's often temporary orders that the court rules in the case, and these temporary orders are very likely to reflect what the status quo is. Mm-hmm. So here's somebody that with all good intentions wanted to turn the heat down, take some of the animosity away, and the reality is the door may be shut for him for the entire pendency of the case. Yikes. And good luck getting back in.
Right. And I thought you literally meant touch the thermostat. Because that was actually, that's still a thing with my wife. I look at her and I say, hey, old equals cold. I'm way older than you. I'm cold all the time. So, but in a house with somebody you're getting a divorce from, it's a thing, like who's going to set what temperature is, not only in a divorce, but in your actual living room. So I think it's fraught with peril to stay in the house, but you need to listen to Rick Jones on this and make sure that you don't come off as the person who abandoned the house or the kids.
And Rick, do both parties have equal right to be in the house, or is there a way that one could kick the other one out?
Sure.
Legally.
Well, before you get to a court ruling, then of course both parties have equal access to the home.
Yeah.
When you get into a judge or a court making a ruling, there's really two ways. One that happens, unfortunately, in our community is domestic violence allegations.
Yeah.
So somebody can try and seek a protection order, and if the court grants a temporary protection order, then that other person is booted out for 10 days.
Okay.
They get the opportunity to come back and tell their story, but that's a huge advantage in a case when they're out already 10 days.
And how often is that used as a tool? I'm just going to say domestic violence.
That's such a tough one because I don't want to minimize the real issue of domestic violence. So I want to underscore that. That being said, in our experience firm-wide, we absolutely have seen circumstances where it's been used as a litigation tool.
Fair enough.
That's a bummer. If you've got a question for Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones, 1-800-DIVORCE, you should call us here right now because he is in studio talking to you. Free legal advice.
There he is, right there. I'm looking right at him.
Looking right at him. Call right now, 800-252-1025. Our next person with a question about a divorce is Lee in Auburn.
Hey, Lee.
Hey, how's it going?
It's all good. What do you got?
Say, I'm in the middle of paperwork processing and so forth. I've been running my paperwork to the courthouse in Kent. I've got what is called a motion for default, but there are two packets, one for the judge to sign off on, when you get to proceedings, and one that I guess you can hand in prior, have it date stamped and so forth. My question is the default paperwork is for individuals that don't respond. The respondents don't reply to the court. So if she is not responding, is there any way that I can push this forward? Is this still 90 days? Can I get,
Let me see if I have this. Is this, hey, she hasn't responded. Can I do action without her okay? Is that the question?
Yeah, it sounds like it. I think I can jump in with what's going on. You've obviously already filed the case, correct?
That's correct,
And you've been given a case number. How long ago was that?
That was June 4th.
Okay.
And she was given papers on June 9th.
Sure. And in those papers, which includes the summons, it tells her that she's got 20 days to respond. Otherwise, she's subject to default. Now,
exactly.
In Washington, we have a waiting period on the divorce that you've already mentioned when you were talking earlier. It's a 90-day period. So in reality, unlike some other lawsuits that you could have brought, when it comes to a divorce issue, yes, you could, in theory, seek a default after those 20 days. That's what it tells you it can do. But the court's going to hold that in abeyance until day 90 has actually come and gone. So for the most part, the recommendation that we have for somebody is hold off. Don't treat that 20 days as, aha, I got you, because the court is very likely to allow somebody to reopen up. That's not the way they favor a case ending.
Okay.
So what we recommend is to hold off until that day 90, but then have your default motion teed up. And at that point, the court can grant your motion for default and sign your final orders. At that point, you can be done.
You know, one of the many, many things I've learned from Rick Jones during this segment of the show and the years that we have known him, and one is, I think that the court system itself and judges specifically may be better folks than you think. They're just not all the enemy, right?
Everybody, when they wake up, including you, wants to do a good job when they come in, right?
That's exactly right. I don't know what you're implying.
Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones is in studio taking your questions about divorce and custody. Anything that you're going through, he is taking your call right now at 800-252-1025. Sam in Seattle, you are on with Rick Jones.
Morning, Sam.
Hey, hi, Rick. Okay, so I own my house, and I am divorced. I refinanced my house. At one point, and in the divorce, I got the house. At one point, I kind of felt sorry for my ex-husband and said, hey, when I sell, I'll give you some of the equity out of the house because I'm going to get a lot of equity. And so I sent an email that said that. But now I've changed my mind because he's so awful to me. So am I legally bound based on that email to give him money?
Well, from a family law perspective, the answer is no, but bear with me on this.
Okay.
Obviously, in your divorce papers, it doesn't say anything about any equity coming his way, right? You've been granted the house.
Yes.
Okay. So what you really now have is what's called a contract analysis, which is, did you enter into a contract after your divorce was done to give him some money? In other words, do you owe him that based on a written contract, meaning your email? And, you know, without getting too much into it, because I'm not a contract attorney,
right,
what you really have is an issue of consideration. Did you get something in exchange for that promise, or was it purely a gratuity? And so that's going to be the issue. Unfortunately, it does give him an angle to argue, right, but you've got angles as well.
Wow. And by the way, you remember I said you think it's going to be friendly, and I say get a lawyer anyway? This lady wanted to give her ex-husband money, and he couldn't get through the day without being a jerk to her.
Yeah.
Hire a lawyer.
Good luck to you, Sam. Let's put you on now with Larry in Buckley, who has a question for Rick Jones.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, good morning.
What you got?
My question is kind of from the grandparent point of view. I haven't heard a lot of those kinds of questions. Our kids got divorced, legally divorced. She's basically in control. Our concern is neither one of them are following any of the instructions court ordered, you know, almost as far as anything other than spousal support and child support.
Right.
What are we supposed to do? Just stand by and watch it tumble?
I'm afraid there's going to be bad news for you.
Well, yeah, well, you just told us what it is that they are complying with. What is it that they're not complying with? What is it that's concerning you?
All of the visitation, the time off, you know, the 2 weeks here, the 1 week there.
Okay,
the
so mom and dad have a parenting plan, but the two of them are choosing not to obey the parenting plan.
Right.
Okay. Well, you know, that's actually not uncommon.
That's exactly my situation.
Yeah, it's important. We hear so many times when I'm on, it's important to have a parenting plan because you've got that rule book. I equate it to the game of Monopoly, right?
All right.
You've got a rule book if you have a dispute. But in the absence of a dispute, two people can play the game however they wish. So because these are the two people, the only two people that have power and have this obligation within a parenting plan, there's really no parenting plan enforcement if the two of them are choosing to live by it. So my real question, Lee, is obviously this is getting under your skin a little bit. Is there something about it that you believe is harmful to the children, that there's a need to step in as a grandparent?
There's a sense of that, but, you know, I don't want to push those buttons.
Yeah, I would say this then. First of all, I 100% appreciate where you're coming from. We hear from concerned grandparents all the time, and it's no doubt whose interest you are protecting. Keep your ear to the tracks. It doesn't seem ripe right now, but the questions you've got are good. If there's more concerns and more specific concerns that arise, call somebody.
You know, just so you, and I mentioned that I've learned some things from Rick Jones, which, you know, in spite of myself, I have learned some things from Rick Jones. And early on was the state of Washington has very little rights for the grandparent.
Yeah.
Like you don't just get automatic rights like you do in some other states, a lot of other states, just because you're the biological father and or mother of the father and or mother. That doesn't give you any legal rights. I was shocked to learn that, to be honest with you.
Rick Jones is in studio. Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones, 1-800-DIVORCE. We've got time for more calls. Here is Will in Seattle.
Hiya, Will.
How's it going? So I have a question for you. My wife and I have been separated for a couple of years now, and she recently went to court and gave guardianship of our child to her parents without my knowledge. If I file for divorce, will that nullify the guardianship, or do I need to go through the process of nullifying the guardianship first?
First of all, this is a really odd set of circumstance because my understanding is that there would have been a notice requirement provided to you. Now, the court's not just going to say, there's a mom and a dad, and mom says it's okay if I give guardianship to the parents. So there's something underlying. Now, perhaps you were defaulted, meaning that perhaps you were, quote, contacted, or she says you were contacted.
In the mail, whatever.
Exactly. And if that's the case, then you need to start at the level of the guardianship and basically say, hey, let's vacate this default and let's start over because I have a voice to say in it. But certainly in terms of initiating the legal process, you're going to need to do that anyways. So I would recommend initiating the legal process. Contact somebody to go through the guardianship as well and say, hey, by the way, I now have an open divorce case where custody is at issue.
All right. Yeah, I did not see that one, like how you deal with that.
Yeah, good luck to you, Will. We've got time for one last call to Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones, 1-800-DIVORCE. This is Dave in Seabeck.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
It's all good. What do you got for Rick Jones?
Hey, so I'm calling for my sister, and she recently got married, and she's the moneymaker. She's paying for the vehicles, paying for the house, and so on. And he's potentially turning into a slouch and potentially a drunk to where she's not happy, and she's trying to work it out. But if, she's thinking there's potential down the road of going to the divorce, so what could she do now to try to help protect herself?
Well, I actually, let's go three different ways, the kinder, gentler versions, and then go on from there. Certainly one of the things she can do is educate herself in terms of what issues in a divorce could come up, like spousal maintenance his way, things like that. And then she can encourage him to make sure to stay gainfully employed.
Right.
So that's the kinder version.
That's the kinder, gentler. And I like the way it sounded.
The second version is to create a postnuptial contract, basically a contract that says, hey, we are married, but in consideration for staying married, these are the terms that we're going to abide by if we get divorced. So she can create something presumably favorable to her on that. And then the third one is to look at it and be honest with herself and say, you know what, if this isn't going anywhere, I'd rather be out now after 2 years than calling Rick Jones after 20.
Right, totally.
Well, if you want to call Rick Jones, you can, 1-800-DIVORCE, or find him online at goldbergjones.com. I'm sure that tons of people have more questions. I encourage them to reach out to you. But Rick, thank you very much for coming in today.
So welcome.
As always, thank you, Rick Jones. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking there's no way that you plan to have more interesting comedy. Because that's what we do here. It's interesting comedy.
Is that what we do?
Well, it is. That's what we had planned. Well, it doesn't matter because it's canceled. I'm not doing that. I'm going to start with something else.
Cancel the bop.
We're certainly not doing that. I mentioned on the show earlier about if you're a listener to this radio show, we kind of work for you. Anyway, we owe you something. But just for a second, I thought we'd take a second, thank a couple. Although my thank you starts off poorly.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want to thank Joe and Lake Stevens. But I may have, and he's one of our most loyal listeners.
Mike.
I may have said, hey, wouldn't that be a good idea to go to his house and set him on fire?
Yeah.
Which is not what I meant at all. So if you either are a Joe of Lake Stevens or know him, please tell him that I said, maybe a bad call on setting your favorite listeners on fire. There. Now, don't you have a listener to set on fire?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we want to say thank you to Patrick, who from time to time, listeners send things to us. They hear stuff that we're talking about on the air. And Patrick heard us. We were giving away tickets to see the Foo Fighters at Safeco Field. And we've also been talking a lot about bobbleheads. We love the bobbleheads that they do for the Mariners. We have a Felix Hernandez infield grass bobblehead. And he heard us talking about that. Patrick actually works at BDA Sports in Woodinville, which is where they make the bobbleheads. Patrick makes the bobbleheads mostly for Major League Baseball. And he sent us
made those, right?
Some of the coolest. This is also for the Mariners. They're going to do a special bobblehead night in September. But we get the bobbleheads already in July. He sent us the Pearl Jam bobbleheads, or the Foo Fighters bobbleheads.
And I will tell you this about that. Bobbleheads, by definition, their head's way too big. It's kind of the joke. It's a joke characterization of whoever you made the bobblehead. Not here. That's the Foo Fighters right there. Well, tiny ones, but that's the Foo Fighters.
Did you know there were like 19 guys in the Foo Fighters?
I thought it was a three-man show.
It's like half of them must be the horn section, right?
Oh, because they got a huge horn section.
There's so many guys, and we've got a bobblehead of every single member.
So what's his name?
His name is Patrick, and
Thank you, Patrick.
He works at BDA Sports, and we want to say thanks. We also want to say thanks to Jenny D, who works right alongside him making these bobbleheads.
Oh, okay.
Give a shout out to Jenny D.
What a neat job.
What up, Jenny D?
Making bobbleheads.
Making bobbleheads.
Very
That sounds
cool.
like
Thank you to all you people that I didn't try to set on fire.
Speaking of Foo Fighters, we've got Foo Fighters tickets for your beaver, Sarah.
We
this
do?
Friday, yeah, $750.
Is that what it'll cost you?
Yeah. So make sure to be listening for that, and check out KZOK.com to find out where the beaver's been.
Well, that is something people would like to get their hands on, as opposed to a man who's been making news
Oh, Foo Fighters tickets. Either way.
for trying to sell a 6-year-old McDonald's burger and fries on eBay.
How old do they have to be till you can sell them that?
You shouldn't. They should be like 6 minutes old.
It's not a 6-year-old who has sold the burger. It's a 6-year-old burger.
Right. Exactly.
All right.
Man trying to sell a 6-year-old burger and fries from McDonald's on eBay. They are intact. He hasn't eaten them at all, but they look pretty gross.
They seem pretty gross.
And you just got to think to yourself, why? Why do you still have a 6-year-old burger?
Well, because you had a 5-year-old burger a year ago, and you thought, why not?
I can't beat it on time, but I think I might be able to beat it in the you shouldn't have anything around that long. I have Lenny's fish in my freezer still.
You do?
Oh.
Yeah, it's got to be 2 years old now, I think, isn't it?
Why haven't you eaten it?
Yeah, why haven't you eaten
I
it?
came down to a thing, Sarah, judgmental head.
Sarah can't really talk, though. Haven't you had sausages or fausages in your purse for like 4 days and you just ate them?
Well, that just happened right here. I watched that whole thing that she has old food on and ate it.
I didn't eat it. I threw
I
those.
watched you eat it.
I watched you. Yeah, you've been eating 4-day-old sausages that have been in your purse.
No, those
Certainly
were new
they're thawed out by
sausages.
now.
I do have a lot of stuff that I have been hanging on to for too long, but sausages were not one of them. No, the cat whisperer, Chastity, her husband loves Zima. And he...
Nobody loves Zima.
It's weird because I thought she'd have to marry a man.
Swear to God, dude loves Zima.
You've talked about, like, they're big beer folks. They go around to, like, a different brewery every day.
Yeah.
And he loves, most of all, he loves Zima.
But also loves Zima. Maybe it's the nostalgia.
Oh, I'd love to love that.
Yeah?
I mean, if I could drink, just what a great hobby. Let's go to a different brewery today. And I'm like, your brew, Mark.
Beer blog.
Beer blog. Close enough. But that sounds really cool. And I can't get behind it because the cops won't let me drink.
Well, it's weird that he's got a great taste because they do sometimes share really good beers, but then he loves Zima. So about a year ago, she, when taking care of my cats, left a Zima in my refrigerator.
That's so weird.
It's
I didn't even think
still
you could,
there.
I didn't think you could buy it past like 1995.
They weren't selling it for about 20 years and then brought it back.
And then brought it back and then didn't do much with it. Like, you have to know you want it. They didn't do a big,
guess so.
push or anything like that. You got to have this at Zima.
Yeah, Total Wine has it, but I cannot bring myself to drink it. And
Everything you'd want an alcoholic beverage from A to Zima. See, I'm already on it.
Well, you guys listening, what is something you've been hanging on to for far too long? Danny's got very old fish in his freezer. A man tried to sell a 6-year-old burger and fries from McDonald's. Gross. What have you been hanging on to for far too long? 800-252-1025 or text your answer to 90627.
Guy wants to sell a 6-year-old McDonald's burger and fries on eBay. The question to you then is, what is something that you've been hanging on to for far too long? Here's the phone number. It's 1-800-252-1025. You can text 90627.
A listener texted in a one-word answer, hope. They've been hanging on to hope for far too long.
That's
Well, I'm glad you're listening. Hopefully, we don't push you over the edge. Hang on to hope a little longer and listen to us.
Unless you mean some lady named Hope and then let her go immediately.
Something you've been hanging on to for far too long. Let's hear from Lisa in Seattle.
Hey, Lisa.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I went to Scotland in 1996, and I brought home with me a boxed can of haggis. And I thought I'd try it when I got home. Never did because it really turned my stomach. So I'm still holding on to that.
Do you know how to prepare it?
Oh, heck no.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to know.
I was going to say, if you invite me over for a dinner of haggis, I'd come.
If it's canned haggis, I think you just heat it up in the microwave.
Not if it's old.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to give you food poisoning.
That haggis is as old as Tori.
Wow,
I'm pretty sure they were born in the same year.
Both delicious.
Now, Danny, you have 2-year-old salmon from Lenny
I
in
do.
your freezer.
Lenny was kind enough to text me just now and give me a recipe for 2-year-old salmon. I
Nice.
appreciate that, Lenny. Thank you.
Well, Tori, didn't your grandparents have like 200-year-old stuff in their freezer?
Yeah, so my great-grandparents lived through the Great Depression, and they used to keep everything, and they had gray meat in their freezer. It was disgusting.
You got to freeze it. Once it goes gray, that's when you got to put it in the freezer.
See, I
Otherwise,
disagree.
it's going to spoil.
When was the last time you had a roast beef sandwich at Arby's? Delicious and gray.
Jeremiah in Seattle, what's something you've been hanging on to for far too long?
Hey, Jeremiah.
Good morning, sunshine.
Come on, sweetheart. What's up?
All right. When my pops was alive, he was a big boxing fan.
Right.
And he passed in '01, went back to Minnesota, helped my mother go through his things, items and such. I found 1962. He had almost the whole year collection of this boxing magazine, and they were pristine. And I can't remember who the heavyweight champ was back then, but I know
62?
Cassius Clay. Yeah, 62.
Yeah, I would think it'd be Cassius Clay, or by that time Muhammad Ali. I'm not sure. But also, you've got some great fighters coming up because you got the marvelous Marvin Hagler era coming up. Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hitman Hearns, all, in my opinion, the best of the best of the best.
Well, and sometimes it's tough to get rid of that stuff. When the Red Sox finally won the World Series, I kept so much, Sports Illustrated and newspapers. After a while, like, what am I going to do with this?
You know what I've had for maybe 30 years, maybe more?
What's that?
Thrones. What am I going to do with these thrones ever? Like, are they eventually going to be mine? And then can I sell them? Can I give them back to the church from which I stole them?
JC in Lake City, what is something you've been hanging on to for far too long?
What up, JC?
Good morning, you people.
What do you mean, you people?
I've always wanted to make you say that. I had a neighbor that used to hunt and fish a lot, and he brought me over one day a really nice vacuum-packed fillet of salmon, and he moved away 8 years ago, so it's been sitting in my freezer frozen for 8 years.
I don't know if that's still good.
Oh, I think that might be bad by now. I am not sure.
A lot of people have stuff in their freezer. Like Tori's got pets that she should have gotten rid of long ago.
Or maybe not ever put them in there.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, JC, make sure to say hi to your dad for me.
I don't get it.
God. You don't. Well, that's because you don't get it because you don't believe in him.
Because you'll be going right to hell after the show.
Alan in Gig Harbor texted into 90627. Alan says, I have my kids' stupid middle school science project boards. They're now 33 and 36 years old.
Wow.
Well, I still have Dante's ashtray.
Yeah.
It's only, I don't know, 15 years old, but I haven't smoked since he made it. Not as a protest. I just quit.
How bad was that ashtray?
It was a nasty ashtray.
Rob in Louisville, what's something you've been hanging on to for far too long?
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
I've got a 6-pack of Snapples from when Bret Michaels won The Apprentice.
Really? And that was one of his things, was to sell Snapple?
Yeah, what was it? What's the connection?
Yeah, and that's what made him win. I think it's called Rockaberry.
I had no idea.
They designed a Snapple.
Yeah.
Neat. That's great. Although that guy's a go-getter no matter what. You know, you look at the bands from his era that had as few hits as he had, and they're broken on drugs and blah, blah.
yeah.
That guy's real rich in Scottsdale, Arizona.
It's surprising that Rob would still hang on to it. Just drink it. says the girl who
That
has
is
a year
weird,
old
yeah.
Zima in her.
No, he's not
fridge.
drinking it because it might be too old. He's not drinking it intentionally because it's from Bret Michaels, the winner of the President's TV show.
He's waiting for it to go up in value from $1.20 a bottle to $1.25
You know what?
a bottle.
Open it up and read me the Snapple fact.
Walleye from Kent texted in. He says, frozen freezer burnt stuffing left over from last Thanksgiving.
Oh,
how much is a
why?
box of stovetop? Again, like
Yeah.
75 cents.
And one of the world's greatest bars.
Oh, absolutely.
That stuff is so good. Rice pilaf or rice-a-roni.
Rice-a-roni.
99 cents
my
or whatever.
God.
It feeds a family of 12.
Gisela in Auburn, what's something you've been hanging on to for far too long?
My daughter, when she was in junior
She's been
high,
high on to her daughter for far too long. Time to get rid of the daughter.
that too. She made a key holder in woodshop that was kind of dorky looking, and I still have it. I'm going to give it to her because she is now a grandmother. So
what?
She's a grandmother? Are you
Yes,
older
and
than
I'm
you
a
sound, or is your daughter a tramp?
my granddaughter's a tramp.
Oh, I knew it. See, so that.
It's a family.
So Gisela, you're a great grandma?
Yes, I am.
Aren't
She's
you
a
like 40?
fantastic grandma.
She's a super whammy great grandma.
I'm pretty sure
Right?
Gisela's not old.
Because my mom is 93 and she's not a great grandma yet.
No, I'm not kidding. I think Gisela's in her 40s. Is that possible?
She's an old Gisela.
No, that's not possible. So many people texted in, all men saying, my wife. I've been holding on to my wife for far too long. Why did they not call in, when Rick Jones was still here?
GoldbergJones.com. Paul, what's something you've been hanging on to for far too long? And don't say this job or I'll punch you.
And don't say your who's it's.
I have a raggedy old throw blanket that I've slept with like every night for as long as I can remember. And like we have a really nice bed, like the kind that a woman puts together, It's
right.
A nice comforter, like nice soft, clean sheets, a million pillows, right?
Yeah.
But on top of that lies this raggedy, nasty old throw blanket that I just have to sleep with. I slept with it. It's not my blankie. Like it's not like it's from when I was a baby.
I didn't even think you used I thought it was a banky.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not
not
from
a
when I was a
banky.
baby,
No.
but it's from when I was, I don't know, late teens. And
Late teens?
It's just like a blanket that I had.
It's a blankie.
Did your boyfriend used to
No,
wear it?
it's not
a blankie, man.
It's not a blankie.
Yes,
It
it's just
sounds like a banky.
It's a blankie.
It's a comfortable blanket. And like I don't like to sleep underneath.
You got in your teens.
I don't like to sleep underneath the like comforter. It's too warm.
Right. You need,
So I'll
while you're
sleep on
sucking your
top.
thumb, you need to have.
If that's
your...
what he's sucking.
All right, so maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that I sleep with my banky.
Tori, what's something you've been hanging on to for far too long?
All my old raver clothes. I have a whole bag of them, of hot pants and lingerie and all that. I don't use it anymore though.
Pictures.
What does that mean you
What
don't
about
use
the
it anymore?
Switch? Do you still have that?
Oh yeah, I do actually. I have a couple.
Pictures are up at KZOK.com if anybody wants to check it out.
Yeah,
Is that
okay.
true?
Yes, it's
Sure.
true. That
hot pants.
Snapple that guy was talking about, Bret Michaels Snapple, is going for $50 on eBay.
No way.
Yeah, cool stuff.
All right, Robin Louisville, you can make some money.
You have a thing.
Yeah, send it to us, Rob. We'll put it up.
Derek, what's something you've been hanging on to for far too long?
I have a framed picture of a topless Stone Cold Steve Austin that I got when I was in like 8th grade.
Men are not topless,
No,
Derek.
men are
We've gone over
shirtless.
this.
What's wrong with you?
Back then I got it because I thought, it was cool to have a picture of a pro wrestler up in your room. And now I think people might just question things about me for having that picture up on my wall still.
You know what? He knew he was going to say this. That's why he mentioned he was hanging out with a specific girl. I don't want you to think I was, making out with my Stone Cold.
Yeah, topless Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Thanks for your calls and texts. The news is next. A man was struck and killed by a dump truck early this morning as he tried to run across I-5 in downtown Seattle. Troopers and medics responded to the scene on southbound I-5 near Seneca Street about 7 o'clock this morning. They'd received reports of a serious accident. When they arrived, that pedestrian was at the scene.
On I-5?
Trying to cross I-5.
At Seneca.
Yep.
That happens because I'm still lost. I've only been here 7 years now. I'm still lost all the time. That's an exit of mine. I know exactly.
Yeah,
Why
right.
would you think you could make that?
Yeah. Now, they said he did not survive, and a truck driver had hit him. They said it was a dump truck, and he just could not avoid him.
Right.
And Kent police continue to investigate a deadly shooting that occurred late last night at a parking lot in Kent on Route 516. A man and a woman, the woman was from Federal Way. The man was from Kent. He is in grave condition at the hospital. She did not survive. Police do not believe that this was a random shooting and are continuing to investigate.
My goodness.
Yesterday, we talked about a breaking news story about a man who they believe went overboard on a cruise ship near Nia Bay.
Yeah.
Well, that was the Seven Seas Mariner, and the 73-year-old man has been found. He did not survive.
So he fell. Nobody murdered him?
We have no idea. He jumped. She says she heard a splash. So,
well, I don't believe that.
He could have fallen.
No.
Especially, they said, I think 70 or 80 feet down from the balcony. Would you hear the splash? If
No,
you're in the
you
room?
never hear the splash no matter if you're on top of it. There's giant propellers.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. She heard the wind blowing because the door had
the window,
been cracked
door
open.
was open.
So did he slip? Did he fall? We have
That
no
was
idea.
my question.
Probably never know.
That
Probably
happens
never know.
Yeah,
that happens a lot on cruise
There's
ships,
video
it
of it.
seems.
There's
People
got to be video
disappear
of it.
or
It's a
people go
smaller
overboard.
ship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
there's videos everywhere because there've been a lot of lawsuits that I was mugged, I was robbed, I was roofied. Then somebody says I did stuff to them. They've really upped, and there was somebody that jumped off, and they said it was a murder. They've way upped their cameras.
I would be pretty angry if I went on a cruise ship and found out there was a camera on my balcony. So I'm not sure that there is one. I mean, that's a serious invasion of privacy.
No, it's not like that. I see what you're saying. What there is there's, for this particular situation, there is a camera that shoots down. It doesn't get anything inside. You can see the tips of where your fingers would go on a balcony, I guess. Well, I'm just doing this from a news report that I have seen.
Yeah.
And then they know usually how somebody went off the edge.
It's just constantly filming the whole outside of the ship.
And hallways and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, according to the Coast Guard, they have no indication as to why this man went overboard. An investigation will happen when the Seven Seas Mariner does dock next.
It hasn't docked?
Well, at the time, they were looking for somebody. There's nowhere to dock on Nia Bay. You're in the middle of Nowheresville.
But since this poor guy fell or jumped off, nobody's pulled that boat into a good parking spot.
Well, they're either going to go to Vancouver. It ports in Alaska, so they have to
I just was thinking, like, planes all the time. You fart too loud next to somebody, and they make you land a plane in Cleveland. Or
Usually
wherever.
with cruise ships, any problem, they stop.
They
like
stop,
where they are.
yeah.
But this was just yesterday, right?
Exactly. The U.S. Coast Guard has rescued 11 passengers on a plane that crashed into an Alaskan mountain yesterday. All 11 passengers survived this crash on Mount Jumbo, just southwest of Ketchikan.
Mount Jumbo?
Mount Jumbo.
Can't believe that's a real thing.
The survivors were taken to a staging area and then being transported to Ketchikan. And they said anyone who needed immediate attention was then airlifted to Ketchikan. But surprising that all 11 people survived this plane crash. Portland is known for a lot of things. Being weird.
Yeah.
Beards.
Yeah.
Beer. Coffee.
Wanting to be Seattle.
Totally wanting to be Seattle.
Yeah.
Teenage junkies.
Strippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have better strip clubs than us, right?
They do.
You can drink there.
Yep, that is true.
Oh, you can't drink at our strip clubs?
No, not at all.
What's the point? What do you spend money on besides giving the girls lap dances? Or
That's
how
it,
that
yeah. You give them money to give them lap dances. That's how it works. It has been a while since you've been.
It has.
Well, there's a man named
I didn't mean
Jason.
has been that.
I heard
that
it.
way.
That's too late. I can't forgive you.
There's a man named Jason Savage who is a Portland photographer who has come up with a way to appreciate some of their strippers. He has made trading cards featuring the city's exotic dancers. He said that he started going to strip clubs
If you eat the gum in the pack, do you get herpes?
They're entertainers, Danny. Dancers.
Yeah.
He said, we've often joked there's so many strippers in Portland, they should have their own baseball cards. After that conversation and the joke, he said, we should actually make these. Part of it will go towards sexual assault charities, and they go for $21. You can get them at strippingoutloud.com. And he said it's to show that it's an actual profession. These are true men and women who do this. And
There's a lot of men strippers going on in Portland. I wouldn't have thought that was a thing.
There are some people who are cross-dressing or trans.
And there's male strip
male
clubs, right,
strippers.
for the
They're
ladies.
not clearly marked. Last time
was?
I was in Portland, I was looking for a bar after a concert, and I walk into
Right, just get a drink, right? You're
yeah,
parched.
I walk into a bar. It looks like a country western bar. I walk in. There was a cover. I was like, oh, there's a band playing, so there's got to be a cover. That makes sense. So I pay my cover. I walk in. I sit down. I see a stage with a pole. I'm like, oh, there's strippers here too. Great. Next thing I know, a guy walks out onto the stage in a very, very small piece of underwear and starts swinging some things around. And I realized I walked into the wrong bar tonight.
Now, did you keep your composure, finish your drink, and meander out? Or did you go, strange wiener, I gotta run?
No, I kept it cool. I was with a lady friend, so I'm sure she enjoyed the scenery.
Second one this show. Derek's getting around.
Yeah. If you would have stuck around, I think that place is both men and women, so there would have been something there for you, too.
That seems like
the place he's talking about.
It was not men and women. I promise you, it was one-sided.
Seems like a good idea, though.
It was called Silverado. So come on.
Different place.
How the hell do you know where he hangs out with male strippers?
I don't know. He told me earlier today.
Are you slow on the uptick, Danny?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, honey.
Am I? Are you?
I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on.
so Paul-
When
I
Derek
thought that
says
was
I'm at a strip club
I
with
was
a
at.
lady friend and she knows which strip club,
Yeah.
Oh, you think she knows Derek's lady
what's wrong with
friend?
you people?
You
What do you
think
mean, you
Tori's the girl in the bar?
I
Tori
think
and Derek hang out. They're friends.
Tori knows Derek's lady friend, I bet.
There you go.
You got it.
Truth.
They're
Shut up.
friends.
Yeah, everybody shut up. And we in a nudie bar, our little Tori.
Tori goes to nudie bars all the time.
We have to kill Derek,
Don't
I
you
think.
listen to this show?
No.
She has a switch and hot pants.
You gave her the switch.
Back to the news, people. President Donald Trump yesterday pardoned 2 cattle ranchers convicted of arson. And this was the fight with the federal government that later sparked the occupation of a wildlife refuge in Oregon. Dwight and Stephen Hammond, who were convicted in 2012 of intentionally setting fires on public lands under domestic terrorism law, spent several months in jail, and now President Donald Trump said, y'all are good.
So he came out in favor of arson. He's pro-arson.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, there were. I think there were also attempted murder charges there too.
Yeah, it was a big fire.
It was a big deal. Yeah.
Well, in a statement, White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said an overzealous appeal of the Hammonds' original sentences, which sent them to prison, was unjust. These are devoted family men, respected contributors to their local community. They have widespread support from their neighbors, local law enforcement. Justice is overdue.
All right. I don't remember being for that while it was happening. I thought, hey, you guys are a bunch of murdering cowboys that are occupying federal land. But, you know, if the president says it's okay.
Yeah, must be fine.
Wallet Hub has looked at the operating efficiency of 150 of the nation's biggest cities, looking at all sorts of stuff like traffic, unemployment, crime, quality of schools, etc., and found out where the best-run cities are. I don't think you would ever guess what the best-run city at number 1 in America is.
Cleveland.
Negative.
No.
Paul?
Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
No.
Wow.
Nampa, Idaho.
Oh, Nampa, Idaho.
Nampa.
Boise, Idaho is
They
actually
know how,
3.
you know. Nampa know how.
Nampa know how.
Pretty sure that's Napa.
Oh, totally different. I like their wine.
No, you don't.
No.
Provo, Utah at number 2. Boise, Lexington, Missoula, Montana.
All these places are boring. So they didn't have a
South
boring
Dakota.
meter?
Provo, Utah was boring while I was there. But when a murderer with a shotgun stalked me to my house in Los Angeles when I was 60, it got much more exciting.
My goodness.
Guy went on a murder, killed 8 people, all on his way to meet me.
Oh, my God.
Beds in my house, just craziness.
He was from Provo?
Yeah, I did a movie there, a piece of crap movie called Baker's Hawk, and that guy got a little fixated on me.
Yikes. And then killed people in your name?
Not in my name, but it was furthering it, like they were taking it was all because, oh yeah, I got to be friends with Bonaduce and said, come on out to Hollywood.
Wow.
Which I probably said.
Yeah, but you didn't say kill people on your
No,
way.
I most certainly did not.
You didn't, right?
No, I might have said, you don't watch yourself. I might have said, let's all go to Joe's house and Lake Stevens set the poor guy on fire.
Yeah.
You say those things in accident. You don't mean them, Paul.
You said no matter what it takes, make sure you get out to Hollywood to see me.
Yeah, I probably said that.
Okay, you basically killed those people.
Well, now I feel terrible,
You
Paul.
should.
Worst run city, Washington, D.C., followed by Detroit, New York, San Fran, Gulfport, Mississippi, Oakland, California. Seattle comes in at number 105 of the best run cities.
Out of how many cities?
This was 150.
That's not that great.
No. Meh.
Meh.
Meh. I got a nice story out of Florida.
Oh, let's see if we can wreck that.
Probably. A group of firefighters and paramedics in Florida are being praised for going beyond the call of duty.
You said duty.
To help a man after he suffered a heart attack. Gene Work was laying sod in his yard when he started to experience symptoms of a heart attack.
Oh, that's not a euphemism. He was actually laying sod in his yard. Yeah.
You thought that was something else?
I was like, is that one I don't know? He's laying sod.
Oh, look at him lay to the sod.
Look at him lay sod.
He was worried he wasn't going to finish laying sod.
Yeah, I'd
and
be worried about that too.
This was a big
never
project.
worried about that.
He had a heart attack while laying sod.
Now, firefighters and paramedics showed up and took him to the hospital. And a little while later, they all came back. They heard the fire truck. They heard the ambulance. And they thought, well, that's really weird. What's going on? Turns out they get out of the vehicle. They rolled up their sleeves. They got to work. And they finished laying his sod for him.
Oh, I couldn't be more nice.
Yeah.
Fireman came over and laid my sod for me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a nice time.
I knew you'd find a way to.
Is your wife still
that's
around?
right.
Let us lay your sod.
It's not a long walk to make that stupid.
Tesla have announced plans to open a new electric car production plant in Shanghai.
Wow.
That's not American jobs.
It is not.
He's not an American guy.
He's not.
It's not an American girl.
Well, is he an American guy?
He's originally South African.
Right, but is he a
I think
citizen?
he's a citizen, yeah.
Maybe. Elon Musk made this announcement yesterday. It will be Tesla's first outside the United States. It's expected to produce 500,000 vehicles. And this is, they say that China is Tesla's second largest market. So it only makes sense to make the cars there. We'll have to pay for shipping. Even though Amazon does that for free.
Elon Musk is a U.S. citizen.
Good for him.
10 years ago? No, 16 years ago now.
Still good for him.
11 years ago, he got his citizenship.
Math is not your forte.
Wow.
No, well, people were disagreeing on when he became a U.S. citizen.
How many times have y'all gotten into a fight driving and say, I'm just going to get out of this car?
Yeah. Don't make me pull this over.
Yeah.
You're gonna get out. Somebody's going to get out for sure.
And Danny, have people actually opened the door and fled the vehicle while it's still moving?
Oh, yeah, more than once. Crazy chicks.
Chicks, man.
Chicks, man.
Chicks, man.
A man was in the passenger seat. Wife is driving. He is so mad at her. He opens the door and tumbles out.
Right.
He took her to court. Said, you failed to hit the brakes. You are responsible for my injuries. This is all your fault.
I think there's a case there.
Well, the judge did not agree with him. No. He did get a lot of injuries, but there were also children in the car. Had she slammed on the brakes, they could have been injured.
I see.
The judge said, go away.
He tried to go away, but she wouldn't slow down.
Yeah. The only one girl, because here's what girls do. They open the door and say, I'm jumping out, and then you rescue them, which is what they want.
Yeah, no, don't.
Yeah,
Please don't.
only one time. Girl opened the door and jumped, and we were going fast,
Wow.
too. My ex-wife, Setsko,
Yeah.
apparently don't cross her, man. She meant business.
Today is Slurpee Day, 7-Eleven.
Slurpee Day.
At 7-Eleven.
I know what that means.
July 11th, 7-Eleven. If you go into a 7-Eleven between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m., you get a free Slurpee.
And they're not allowed to say no.
No, at participating
I've only done it
ones.
once in my whole life, and I felt like I was stealing right in front of this poor foreigner.
It is a particular size. You can't just get a large Slurpee. It's a little one.
No, but I did the little one. I just felt like not everybody in the store had a really good handle on what was happening, and they were looking at me like a thief.
No coupon, nothing is needed. So you just go in there but you have to ask. You can't just steal everything like Paul said.
You have to ask, may I please have a Slurpee?
Yes.
You do?
Oh, then I've definitely stolen Slurpees
Yeah,
before.
it's a whole different thing.
I just filled the small cup up and walked away.
And yesterday we talked about an alligator that had been tracked down in Australia. Gigantic alligator.
15 feet. That's a big alligator.
That's a big alligator.
15 feet alligator.
Well, now a record-breaking gator has been found in Florida.
Oh, Florida.
13-foot alligator was captured in Shamrock Park. And they said this is the biggest they have ever seen. 13 feet, and it was like 1 billion pounds.
That's a really big alligator.
That's a
billion pounds.
1 billion pounds.
billion.
Think about the boots you're going to be able to make out of 1 billion pounds of alligator.
Or you just one guy with gigantic feet.
Yeah, right.
We are going to take a quick break, my friends. So much more show coming up. Music news, entertainment, and sports all next. So don't go anywhere. Starting with music news, rapper-singer Drake has just broken a 54-year-old chart record previously held by the Beatles.
I thought we were going to talk about rap. I thought he just beat some 54-year-old.
He beat the Beatles with his latest album, Scorpion, besting the Beatles' 1964 chart success that found 5 of their singles simultaneously taking up residence in the Billboard Top 10. Drake's 25-track Scorpion has 7 singles in the top 10.
25 tracks?
25 tracks.
I think he's cheating.
7 are in the top 10.
Yeah, I totally think he's cheating. Because I don't like it when anybody breaks a record by the Beatles or Elvis.
Right.
Like, don't do that. Why do that?
I mean, Drake's pretty great.
Yeah, Adele did it not that long ago, beat some record held by the Beatles.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Derek and Tori take on the world. Tomorrow night, they will be at Club Galaxy, which is at Muckleshoot Casino. They are hosting Battle of the Puget Sound Bands.
Battle of the Puget Sound Bands.
Battle of the Puget Sound Bands. Derek, you want to get in on this?
You will not hear either one of us say that tomorrow night at Muckleshoot Casino.
You won't say, welcome out to Battle of the Puget Sound Bands.
I'll be a little more professional.
You will? I'd like to see it. You've never shown it to us before.
3 bands compete for the top spot in the finals and a shot at $10,000 cash prize.
That's pretty awesome right there.
Yeah. The first band takes the stage at 8, so be there to root for your favorite because the audience decides who moves on and who goes home. Again, that is Club Galaxy at Muckleshoot Casino. Derek and Tori tomorrow night.
Is that every year, that particular Battle of the Bands?
Yeah, they do it every year.
I went, I guess it was last year. It was, I almost cursed. It was friggin' amazing. Like, there's some great bands.
Seriously
Plus,
talented.
there's some bands that suck, and that's super entertaining.
Netflix has made yet another announcement. They are introducing something called Smart Downloads, and it is designed to help people who like to binge. Now, when you watch Netflix, say, on your phone or a device, you can download it and therefore watch it even if you don't have internet.
Right.
So as soon as you connect to Wi-Fi again, it'll automatically delete your episodes and download the next one for you.
Oh, I don't know that I like that.
Oh, I love it.
Well, I don't know that I don't like it, but it seems like I didn't mean to erase it. And now
But
I'm gonna
you
be
wouldn't.
bummed.
You wouldn't sign up for this if it's, you have to have finished watching it. So say you want to binge Breaking Bad. You
Right.
download the first 3 episodes and then you run out of time. You got to go get the bus
Right.
to go to work. So you watch the first 3 and then the next time you are on Wi-Fi, it's like, oh, you watch those.
Yeah.
All right.
This happens to me all the time because I'll watch stuff on multiple platforms. We do have Amazon Prime through our TV with the Fire Stick.
Yep.
And then I have it on the computer and then on my phone. So I'll be watching something and I might pick it up somewhere else. And then when I go back to the TV, say from the phone, it still has me where I was before. So it's awesome that it already senses that you've watched it
Yeah.
and just gets rid of it so you can pick up where you left off.
Yep.
Instead
It's-
of having to figure out, did I watch episode 3? I don't remember.
It's
Let me
pretty
read
much to eating your brain.
Yeah?
It knew what I wanted. That's it, man. That's the road to
It
hell.
doesn't know what I want, but it knows what I'm done with. And I like that.
Me too.
I'm against it.
California.
Yeah.
Getting to the Hollywood sign could only take 6 traffic-free minutes if Warner Brothers has its way. As a means of solving the problem of congestion on roads and hiking trails leading to the famed attraction, Warner Brothers says it will pay to build a mile-long pay-per-ride tram that would drop visitors close to the sign and a new visitor center. It'll have a hefty price tag, $100 million. But believe it or not, Warner Brothers has some money.
Yeah.
Trams have been proposed in the past, but it looks like Warner Brothers will be able to move forward with a tram.
You know, people going up Bronson Canyon and all the other canyons that lead to that, you've got to get the okay from the neighborhood to have a dedicated traffic lane for a trolley. And I don't see that happen in the tight areas of Hollywood Hills.
I was thinking it would be aerial, like an aerial tram that
I believe it
go
will be
over the
aerial.
top of the streets.
They'd
That'd be
love
cool.
that. Yeah. Somebody was just talking about that to get to Dodger Stadium from downtown. I think that'd be great.
So that way, get all those cars off the road.
Oh, no, I thought you meant an actual tram.
No, I believe it's like Paul is saying, in the air.
Like a gondola.
Yeah.
Well, they're in the water.
Yeah. Or a gondola. Which one?
All right.
Is there a difference? Gondola?
Yes. Lots
One's
more
in the
letters
water
than
and
one.
one's in the air.
Yeah.
Roseanne Barr made a big announcement on Sunday. She said, I'm set to do a TV interview. I will share more details on Monday.
I'm even more racist than you thought.
Monday, we're like, okay, who's getting this interview?
Yeah.
Monday night, she says, quote, after a lot of thought, I decided I won't be doing any TV interviews. Too stressful.
Jerry Springer already canceled his show. That's why.
Right. That's very well said.
Too stressful and untrustworthy for me and my fans. I'm going to film it myself and post it on my YouTube channel next week. The entire explanation of what happened and why. I love you all. Sign up and get ready. She has a lot of subscribers on her YouTube page, 16,000. She has
16,000? That's it?
She has
Is there something different about those than Facebook's and stuff?
Yes.
Oh, subscribers versus just viewers. So like people who get updated every time she posts something.
Yes. She has almost 1 million Twitter followers. So she does have a big social media presence, but to have that many subscribers on her YouTube page is a lot. She hasn't posted in 7 months, and we still don't know who she alleges to have had a TV interview set up with.
Well, she could get one with almost anyone.
Yeah, there's
I'd interview
nobody
her
that...
too. We don't even talk to people anymore. And if they said, hey, Roseanne Barr's outside and she wants to get interviewed, I'd say, yeah, right now, set her in.
Everybody wants to talk to her. I think the difference is she wants to screen the questions and say, here's what you're allowed to ask me, and nobody wanted to go for that.
Game of Thrones, they have a spin-off, which is now officially going to start filming in the fall. The prequel pilot will have production in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and it has a tentative title called The Long Night. So this will be nowhere near any of the characters on the present show. This takes place thousands of years in the past of the present Game of Thrones.
Which also takes place thousands of years in the past.
It takes place in a different time because it's fantasy.
All right.
But is that George R.R. Tolkien guy still going to be, is he writing them or no?
He is.
So
He
we
is-
still have to wait for, but are they based on books he's writing?
No, it's his concept, and
Yeah.
he will assist, but he isn't physically writing it word for word.
Great. So
So,
we
so
can,
he's like that Patterson guy.
yeah,
Yes.
right. But we could have a season every year. We don't have to skip like 5 years waiting for him to write another
Correct. Stephen King has partnered with Hulu and has something brand new headed. It's going to be called Castle Rock. It's a mysterious prisoner bringing new horrors to a sleepy town called Castle Rock. And it's Stephen King working with J.J. Abrams.
Okay.
Who's done a ton of different stuff. And this is the same town where Cujo, The Dead Zone, Shawshank Redemption all happened. So he will be revisiting. And Sissy Spacek, Scott Glenn, Terry O'Quinn, some of the people who will be starring in
I'm
this.
doing something right now that I never thought I would admit out loud that I'm doing. I am reading a Stephen King book.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. There's
It's,
something wrong
called-
with admitting that.
I think that there is. And keep it to
What
but
are you reading?
There's nothing wrong with reading. So whatever it is, if you're going to read and you decide the only thing I'm reading is Stephen King, well, then God bless you. I'm reading a Stephen King book called Stephen King on Writing.
Oh.
And it's a how-to and his process of writing a book.
Oh,
It's
wow.
pretty interesting, I must admit. And it starts off with his band, which I remember was kind of a big deal. It was all authors that had bestsellers. And they started a band together. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, if you're going to pay attention to anybody, you might want to pay attention to somebody who's written like 40 bestsellers.
Me?
I don't think you've written 40 bestsellers.
I'm not positive who you ask if I wrote one.
And Netflix and developer Niantic have announced a new animated series based on the augmented reality mobile game Ingress. People get addicted to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that with all these games.
Derek, are you an Ingress guy?
I'm not huge on mobile gaming, but what this is, it's best described as combining elements of geocaching with capture the flag. So you boot up the game on your phone, and it's a real-life map, almost like a Google Maps image on your phone, and there's 2 factions in the game. You choose which one you want to play for. So when you go to the location in the real world, on the game, it'll know that you're there, and you can capture control points and things like that for your faction.
I may try it. I'm not sure how I think. I spent an hour geocaching yesterday, and there was only 2 of them on Green Lake. I couldn't find one. It broke my heart to eventually we have to leave. I think that was a quote from my wife. Eventually we have to leave.
Did you find any of the Pokemons?
I found one with my son because that's what he was doing that week.
Yeah, this game's super huge. Lots of players playing it all the time. Factions are capturing points, back and forth. And then this company is the same company that created Pokemon Go. This game, Ingress, kind of laid the foundation for what Pokemon Go became because Nintendo came to them and said, you already have, the whole country mapped out. You already have a game based on it. Do the same thing, but add Pokemon.
Well, thank you for that.
That's very cool. Yeah. I know people who have a serious Ingress addiction, and that's what they do all weekend, like every waking
So
moment.
Matt's not getting better? He still has that problem.
I'm assuming that my wife, if she doesn't already know how to do this, will be able to figure it out by this afternoon.
Download an app on the phone.
Reese Witherspoon is entering the unscripted territory with a new interview show for AT&T. Witherspoon is the host of Shine On with Reese.
Oh, it should be called Don't You Know Who I Am? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It's a weekly interview show examining the stories of trailblazing women. Some of the guests who are already set up: Dolly Parton, Pink, Casey Musgraves, Sprinkles founder Candace Nelson, poet Cleo Wade, America Ferrera, and more.
Cool. I like it.
All women. Is that kind of the point of the show? All women?
Yes.
Because I found out the Jerry O'Connell show that we talked about yesterday. It's not called the Jerry O'Connell show, but it's going to be all male, no female guests.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It seems completely sexist.
Oh, yeah. But if Reese Witherspoon's doing the same thing, isn't it just as sexist?
Totally just as sexist. But
apparently 2 wrongs do make a right.
It smells better, though, to, a bunch of sports heads say that we're just going to have one. But there are women that excel at sports and stuff. There's no reason to not have women on your show. There's lots of reasons to not have guys on your show.
Because you
We're
smell.
stinky, yes.
And that show's on Bravo, which I think a lot of women watch Bravo.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, he's only going to have a male guest.
Well, it's Jerry O'Connell. He can do what he wants to do.
Guess so.
I say that holds up for like 3 interviews, and then I go, hey, this is stupid.
Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUIOA. That's 1-800-DUIOA. Mariners lost to the Angels 9-3 yesterday, despite their starting pitcher getting hurt and leaving in the 3rd inning. Mitch Haniger did hit a 3-run home run, but not enough bat support. 9-3 loss. They'll turn it around today.
Turn it around.
7:07 start time on Root Sports. Mariners playing the Angels once again in California. Marco Gonzalez versus Jaime Barria. And the Mariners put Felix Hernandez on the 10-day disabled list. He is expected back after the All-Star break. And speaking of the All-Star break, Paul told us earlier, and I looked at the pictures on Facebook, it is true, Felix Hernandez was hanging out with fans yesterday.
Yeah, just walking around outside Safeco because people were down there to do a live in-person voting to send Gene Segura to the All-Star game. And as people were lined up in line waiting to use computers, Felix Hernandez walks out and just gets in line, waits his turn to vote.
Cool.
Nobody let him cut.
Amazing.
So our old buddy Pat, who used to work with us, is right in front of Felix Hernandez. How do you not turn around and be like, hey, man, you want to go ahead of me?
Right?
But no, he makes him wait his turn.
He wouldn't have done it. He wouldn't have done it.
And then he asked Felix if he can take a picture with him.
Which he did, and that
Yeah.
picture's on Facebook.
Super
It's a great
cool.
picture. Well, people have until 1 o'clock to vote. Is that right?
Yeah, 3 hours and 44 minutes left to get your vote in.
And where do they go?
He's leading right now. Mariners.com/vote is the best way to go because then you can also enter for their giveaway. They're doing an awesome giveaway with tickets to a game. You're like front row tickets to a game, some signed memorabilia, and you get to take a picture with Gene Segura down on the field.
Very cool.
That's awesome. There's also a deal running right now to buy 2-for-1 tickets to an upcoming game if you vote on their website. You can vote as many times as you want up until 1 o'clock today.
Mariners.com/vote.
Yep.
Thank you.
Place to go.
The Sparks defeated the Storm yesterday in overtime. Up next for them, Dallas, Saturday, 6 p.m. France has reached the World Cup with a 1-0 victory over Belgium.
That's not who I had.
No, you got Spain.
Oh, yeah, I did, right.
So
yeah.
I won the 50 trillion Zimbabwean dollars from you and 50 trillion from Sarah, but then I lost to myself. So I think I'm still up 50 trillion Zimbabwean dollars.
There you are.
Croatia and England have a match today at 11. And in a big surprise move, Real Madrid superstar Cristiano Ronaldo has agreed to transfer to Juventus. Now, this is a dude who
What the hell does that even mean?
leading
Isn't that
teams.
When your gums bleed, when you brush them, you have Juventus?
That's gingivitis.
Oh, same thing.
He has helped Madrid win 16 titles, 4 European Cups, and he says, yep, time to move on.
I'd like to get to be that rich and famous that I have my own European cup. I can't make it. I'm just going to use my European cup.
This deal is reportedly worth $140 million.
Wow. And he got even kicked out, right?
He got kicked out?
His team's no longer in the World Cup.
No longer in the World
I
Cup.
thought you meant him personally.
I don't know anything
he's
about that
awesome. Terrible story in sports. Ex-Seattle Seahawks star Brandon for trying to kill his ex-girlfriend.
Jeez.
Brandon Browner, part of the original Legion of Doom. Boom.
Yeah.
Doom or boom, either way.
Yeah.
What have you got?
1 count each of attempted murder, first-degree residential robbery, first-degree burglary, and false imprisonment. He is facing life in jail and prison. This is a pretty bad scene for Brandon Browner.
Can't we just call him a former Patriot now at this point? Because one, that's the Patriot way, but also he left to go to the Patriots. So if anybody does anything terrible like that, we should talk about the team that they were on when they weren't a Seahawk.
Yeah, he did win a Super Bowl with the Seahawks, and then he won a Super Bowl with the Patriots. He was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
With a bad temper and
apparently. So is the girl hurt?
Oh, yeah. The girl was hurt. Her kids were there. He dragged her around, chased her, smothered her on a carpet, stole stuff. He also violated a protection order she had against him, and this is not his first run-in with domestic violence.
You know what shocks some of us guys sometimes? That, especially when you're, say, as spectacular as me or that guy, that when you say, all right, that's it, I'm leaving you, that they don't just fall apart. That they start a new life like almost immediately, and you go, hey, you need. So that's what's happening. He was, this big sports stud, and she went, yeah, I don't really care that much. Just give me my half of your stuff, and he couldn't take it.
Well, it's an ex-girlfriend. It's not even an ex-wife. So she, there, like I said, allegations of domestic violence, and broke up with him, and he violated the no contact order.
Oh.
A former UFC women's bantamweight champion and current WWE superstar Ronda
Tebow! Oh, I'm sorry. I got track of it a little bit.
I guess.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
She has been announced as a playable character in publisher 2K Sports' upcoming video game, WWE 2K19. She has been featured in a trailer that was just released.
Most people that watch that wrestling thing are in the trailer. Really, that's the one. All right. I'll take it.
The game is set for release on October 9th for PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and it's a big honor.
Honor?
I just did the last stupid one.
She should feel honored. It's awesome.
Okay.
She deserves it.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. On tomorrow's show, we've got a lot happening yet again. More tickets to see Paul Rogers at 7:20. Let's see, we've got Mariners tickets we'll be giving you around 6:45. I will give you a filthy forecast at 7:50. So much going on. Today was a jam-packed show. Thanks again to Rick Jones for joining us. And if you weren't able to call in, you could always find him at 1-800-DIVORCE or rickjones.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you could do. I'll tell you, I would not need a divorce lawyer if I married Steve Slayton. Oh, we'd stay together forever, retire, check our pensions.
I mean, he might want to leave.
No, I wouldn't untie him. Anyway, Steve Slayton is going to walk into his room any second now and play a bunch of classic rock and roll for you because that's what he does. We will get out of his way. So bye.